Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It's an interesting movie. Um, it's been a long time since I've watched it, like 6 or 7 years. So I'm hoping my opinion has changed, because my opinion on a lot of other stuff has changed. I'm more chill about movies and stuff these days. But yeah, I remember kind of hating this movie. Hopefully, I don't hate it now. Maybe it's really, really good and I just wasn't able to appreciate it at the time. Maybe it's awesome. What isn't really good, though, and I can confirm, is Discord taking exclusive control of my audio device and me having to figure out a way to make it stop doing that so I can actually hear the movie. That part's important. I would very much prefer if Discord did not do that. But maybe the movie's good. Maybe the movie's good. No idea. Oh, I know whose opinion I can get. Hey, Mark, what do you think of the movie Star Trek: The Motion Picture? Do you think it's How do you think of the pacing in particular? I've definitely watched movies a lot longer than this that I enjoyed. Namely, Return of the King extended cuts, like 4 hours, and that's really
Reckon it's
good.
akin to floating down the great Mississippi on a slow steamer. Time ambles like Huck Finn avoiding his chores. The grand vistas offer spectacle, but year stateside, I crave more of their blustering adventure.
Does what? Did that make sense? But I year stateside, I crave more of their blustering. What does that mean? Does Sorry, Mark, I didn't quite understand. Did you mean that you do like the movie or that you don't like the movie? I have no idea what he was trying to say. Absolutely no idea.
As an admirer of leisurely river voyages, the movie's stride suits me just fine, though. The wild ruckus of an escapade is missed, I do declare.
Okay. So he likes it, but he thinks it could be better. It could use some more action, for sure. And that seems reasonable based on what I remember of this movie. It seems fair. We did already get an episode of this movie. What was it called? It was the episode with Nomad. I was going to describe the plot, but it's the same plot. They find some old Earth space probe and bring it aboard, and it's gone a little crazy. But yeah. Anyway, how's the weather? It's been raining here, so that's fun. Rain is good. Rain is very good.
Hey.
So, you like this movie?
You know what? To be honest with you, Moon got me into it, our old friend. And since I watched it once with her, I watched
Wasn't
it
she the Soviet?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But you know the thing, remember, we were doing our own. We were meeting in your group server and watching it, trying to do our own stuff. So, but the funny thing was though, so we geeked out, watched Star Trek 1, then we watched Star Trek 2, and then we wanted to make it inclusive because it's the same spirit as yourself, right? You make your watch-alongs inclusive, even if it's a little bit difficult sometimes with, say, myself.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to be open to liking it. I'm going to operate under the assumption that teenage Ryan... Actually, no, I was 21. That younger Ryan was just a lot more anxious for things to speed up.
Oh, you haven't clicked play yet? Usually you start by 5 minutes.
No.
Okay.
I know it's hard to tell because this movie's just that slow-paced.
Actually, so this is the only Star Trek movie to start with the overture, not intermission, but overture, which is at the beginning. They play music for 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay, that's
it used to be a thing. It used to be a thing for all movies and theater more specifically.
All right, hang on. Very important press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. All right, we got some time to kill. Movie started. Oh, by the way, my copy of the movie is 2 hours and 12 minutes exactly. I know there's a bunch of different versions. I don't know which version this
Yes.
is, if it's like a director's
Yes.
cut or whatever, but it's
Ultimate
2 hours and
Director's
12
Cut.
minutes.
Right.
It's 20 seconds in, the screen's still black. What's going on?
Yeah. It's called an overture. You have to give the audience like 20 minutes to take their
Get their
seats.
popcorn, get a drink.
Yeah, and all of that. Okay, so you're 2 hours 20 minus 2 hours 16 minutes. So you have like a full 4 minutes of footage that I don't have.
That's fine. I don't think I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Does this actually go on for 5 minutes? I didn't like pre-watch this or anything. I just
Yeah, it does.
scrolled through a couple scenes to make sure the subtitles worked.
No. Like I was saying, I learned that recently about this movie. In that it has something called an overture, and that's when you play music because the intermission is between the 3 hours of the film. The overture is before the film. All movies used to have this, by the way. Like we're talking 60s, 70s, 50s, 40s. So if you don't like
Still got it.
overtures,
Look,
classical music.
I skipped through like the TNG intro because it's too long, and the Voyager intro.
That's true. That's true.
Lawrence of Arabia, it seems like the movie is
Yes,
broken.
Jesus, that scared me. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Lawrence
it's still
of
going.
Arabia has
The movie's actually started now. Paramount, Gulf Plus Western Company. I don't think that's true anymore. Okay. Paramount Pictures presents more dramatic music. Yes, 2 minutes in. The movie's almost started. TNG theme, good. It is odd to me that they reused music from the TOS era as the primary theme of the Next Generation. It's a good song.
Yeah.
I can't associate this with TOS. It doesn't work.
You know, mine has jazzier titles than yours. I don't know. It's really interesting.
Here, let me unblur for a second so people can see how jazzy my titles are.
Yeah.
Is this sufficiently jazzy? Music by Jerry Goldsmith. Well done, Jerry.
Like mine has golden titles that like they have a little bit of lights in them. So and then it's against the starry background. You must be watching like
mine's
the
just
theatrical release.
white tech. It's not Arial
Or
font,
something
at
close to
least.
Yeah, it's a DS9 font actually.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
All right, Robert, speed it up.
Yeah.
This is why
But
we
so,
put credits at the end. Okay, now the movie's
know-
actually started. Okay.
I even think the title is kind of funny. Like the fact that you have to call a movie the motion picture is kind of ridiculous. You know,
This
they
movie,
weren't
as I
thinking about.
recall,
Mhm.
was a direct response to Star Wars.
Right.
Because they're like, oh god, that cool sci-fi franchise. They're doing movies now. We got to do a movie. We got to get in on this. And then they made a movie that was exactly the opposite. Star Wars was all action all the time.
They made like a pensive sci-fi.
Cerebral movie.
Yeah.
Which, I
Well,
mean, that's fine.
Which is a
but I
nice
don't
way
know
of
why
saying
that's
3
your
hours
response
of
to Star
nothing.
Wars.
3 hours of a snail's pace of a plot, which is not going to be a blockbuster. Like you said, opposite. But there's a lot good to be said. One of the first things is that first they were gonna make a TV show called Star Trek Phase 2 to continue. I think like Spock was the
They
captain
did
of the
make
Enterprise.
that, just with new actors in red spandex.
Yeah. But so DS9, sorry, TNG was 86 though, so we're still talking 1979 here. So in 1979, they were gonna do a new Star Trek show called Phase 2, and they had some of the bridge and some of the plot worked out. But when it came time to do the movie, they're like, all right, turn everything into a movie. And that's where we got the sets from.
Oh, that was a little Star Wars. People like manually targeting the disruptors with consoles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Star Wars, of course, did
Klingons, why are you
invented all.
what are they doing? It hasn't done anything yet. They're gonna fire at it.
Star Wars invented the stop motion technology, basically, of Industrial Light and Magic. So all these, like, I used to think Star Trek had better special effects. Come to find out, the special effects company is the same one founded by George Lucas to do the Star Wars. So
Oh,
you make a model.
real quick note: the Klingons, the old ones, are not canon anymore. This is what they always looked like. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Didn't even occur to me these are new Klingons.
This space station is really nice. We kind of see. Oh, sorry, we're not there yet.
There's a space station. Comm station Epsilon 9. Very interesting design.
You know, the I'm gonna just say you have a theatrical release, Ryan, because there's a slight difference in pacing. So my Klingon scene was like maybe like 10 seconds shorter, and so they cleaned up the pace for the director's cut. Like they made it a little bit tighter and then they put in those deleted scenes. So I think the reason is because the theatrical release of the film is famous for being very slow. They kind of tighten up the editing a little bit in subsequent releases.
Though if our version difference is only 4 minutes, they didn't tighten it up that much.
It's a great film when you tighten up the 4 minutes. I'm telling
Intruder
you.
identified believe luminescent cloud to be enormous power field supply on enabling industrial sensors unable.
Hey ET, welcome.
Hello,
Mr. Studios.
how are we doing?
We are doing great. We're watching the first of the Star Trek movies. How do you feel about the motion picture?
The motion picture is
It's here
perfectly
for sure.
reasonable. No, it's I enjoy it. I do think that I mean everyone's main complaint of it is the pacing. But at the same time, I think it's a good movie with a reasonable concept and everything. But yeah, the pacing might not quite work as well for modern audiences, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's very 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
which
here's the,
it has
would you-
equal,
equal what? Sorry.
equal
Runtime?
complaints from modern audiences.
Yeah, it's like what's going on in this picture? Monkeys throwing a bone up in the air. Crazy.
I watched that movie. As soon as it ended, I had no idea what the movie was about.
A star child in the room.
I was so confused.
A monolith on a moon. What is this monolith doing in caveman history?
I think Star
too...
Trek was helped by the fact that it was set in an established universe.
Okay, so sorry, this scene, right? Okay, so first I want to say
this scene seems like suicide. To be honest, they just watch it destroy 3 Klingon warbirds and like we've plotted a course to take us next to it. No, just leave.
Sorry, mine is already on Spock. So again, it's 10 seconds tighter. So they're actually at Yosemite Park, which is this is one of the things that bankrupted the movie. Cost so much money, way more than they ever wanted it to cost. So they did a CGI of the hot springs at Yosemite Park, and then with this like studio thing, and they merged the shots together, and they created this incredible Vulcan landscape with the sky background.
This isn't Vulcan. There's no Vasquez rocks anywhere. What is this place?
It cost lots of money, and the movie started out like this. Basically, this movie cost too much money and didn't make any money in return. It's a miracle we got more Star Trek movies.
Yeah,
they spent 100.
Have an interesting. Sorry, but yeah, they've got an interesting like track of how much money they made.
Yeah.
Across them, and they were like, "Yeah, this is kind of continuously profitable, but it has problems."
We're not making money.
Yeah, we're not making no money, but sometimes we really don't make any.
Right. We're lucky to make anything.
It made plenty of
but they have to
money,
keep
but they
making them.
spend way too much making it.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
really, it's like
Hey.
the TNG remaster issue. People bought it for sure, but it was also expensive.
Welcome, Soma.
Hello,
So-
I had totally forgotten about this at the start of the film.
Y-
It's been so long since
Yeah.
I've seen it as well.
Also, that
I just
woman's
want to say
really quiet. I can't hear her at all.
this movie is a cinematic masterpiece. I know.
Well, for
That's
the time, I
controversial.
suppose. For the time, it was.
No, for any, it gets better as you watch it and as you grow older, and you appreciate it more with your friends. That
For
you watch
sci-fi
together.
movie, and not being Star Wars, it did great in the box office.
Yeah, but I'm saying it cost 122 million because, like I said, they brought in the sets from Star Trek Phase 2, and they merged so many plots together. It was a mess. It was a whole mess. The special effects post production almost didn't happen. They were doing it as they even did more special effects after the premiere because they weren't ready at premiere time.
So back,
It's
but
it's
with
not the Wrath of Khan, but it's good.
with the content of the movie, what is actually happening in this scene? What is? Well, I know Kolinar is the purging of emotions, but I don't. Isn't
You'll have
Spock
to
like
fig-
90?
Yeah. So he's
I
gonna
thought this
complete his
was
Vulcan
something
training.
Vulcans did when
but
they
he-
were like growing up.
True. I guess.
Oh, and
like,
it's TNG again.
And it.
Is that the first shot of the Golden Gate Bridge with the solar panels on it, though? Did we get that in TOS?
I always just think of Lower Decks and
Yeah.
Mariner talking about the like, why do we even have that? Nobody drives anymore. This planet's whack.
It is interesting that we've just kept it with solar panels on it, even though there's absolutely no
People like
reason for
the
there to be solar
bridge.
panels anymore. They generate so much power just from the antimatter.
Well,
and things like
it's a
that.
story.
No, it
There's
feels
no need
like
for it.
they progressed to a point and then decided to preserve it in its current state, say 50
True.
years in the future from now,
It's for
but
nostalgia.
not in its
purposes.
original state.
No, but you're right. With
Yeah.
Fusion 2, you could just have a little battery that'll work for the next 50 years. Okay, so this guy was supposed to replace Spock because Leonard Nimoy was not didn't want to do this. He was like, "All right,
So this particular guy was going to be.
Yeah.
This rando.
I totally. Oh yeah, there's lots more Vulcans in Starfleet than they thought by the time of the films.
Yeah, but look, this is the science officer. That's why he's saying, like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm the science officer. I'm Admiral Kirk taking command of the Enterprise, and you're gonna be. And he's like, you're gonna be on the ship. Yeah, I'm gonna be on the ship. And but the thing was,
They
again,
can
Leonard
hang
Nimoy.
out. They can like go fence and stuff. It'll be great.
And so begins the scene where they try to make as much out of their new starship model as humanly possible by giving us huge.
Hey, it's the first time in 30 years that we've seen the Enterprise. Let them have their ship porn.
You don't mean this model of the little freighter thing? Because we're getting a lot of angles of this little freighter.
and the station. And the
It
station.
looks a little Cardassian.
They are getting
Just
the
a little
money's
bit.
worth out of every single new model that they've made.
All right, so the thing is, this
The
little
office
thing,
level, yes. Very
they're
important.
like projecting the film onto the windows.
Yeah, that was
so
very
it's like
clearly
this-
two-dimensional.
Yeah. So in other words, like they didn't even have the special
Oh, is
effects.
this
that
the movie
we-
where they go like, oh, what we got
Yeah.
back didn't last long?
Yeah, that's coming up in 5 minutes.
Jeez, Strotty looked so different in this film.
William Shatner, this does not look at all like TOS William Shatner to be. Like
It doesn't.
all the
Scotty
characters
as
in the
well.
old
This
shows,
transition phase.
Scotty
between,
still looks like
what he
Scotty.
looks like in the originals.
Scotty
does,
is
but it's
recognizable.
different as well, yeah.
Scotty's recognizable.
Like even today,
right.
like George Takei is still clearly George Takei. I can still see like, yeah, it's the same guy, but he's older. Patrick Stewart, he's still Patrick Stewart. Brent Spiner's like, yeah, it's the same guy, he's just older. William Shatner literally looks like a different person. I cannot
Yeah.
see them
hair
as the
is
same
combed
person.
different.
But
His hair
even
got
then,
curlier.
I think he looked less like this in like the last in Star Trek 6 and in Generations. Yeah, I think he looked quite a lot different from this, but he also looks massively different from what he did in the original
What year
series.
did
as well.
2001 come out? Because it obviously did these
2001.
shots a lot better.
Hey, Mark, what year
I-
did the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey come out?
It was 75.
Pardon me, I'll wait for the answer from the bot, but pardon me, that's yeah, you'll see.
That was Stanley Kubrick, by the way, one of the
My
greatest
dear
directors of all
fellow,
time.
this here year of 2022 tempts us old dogs with fresh tricks.
Wrong
Yet
year.
the
Okay.
birth of 2001. A Space Odyssey predates my time hopping by a hair, sprung to
You're
life
asking
in
the
the
wrong
year
guy.
of 1968. Testament to the
Wow.
surprising
Is that
turns of
right?
history.
That doesn't
like
sound
my
right.
tale
Yeah,
of Connecticut Yankees in
1968.
King Arthur's
The
court.
effects in that movie are insane for that age.
That's
It looks the
pretty
same
incredible.
as this.
That's 2 years after the Star Trek, the original series started.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But
It's truly insane special effects and how good it looks. So compare it to this, which is 30 years later.
well,
or nearly
this
30
is
years
Like, I
later.
can
70
see the
79.
characters
10 years
against
later.
the mat. I can
Yeah.
see
This
the
is-
outline of them where it didn't quite mesh well.
But in 2001, you don't see that at all.
No, you don't.
These
What's
are
the
better,
deal,
though.
Gene?
With the Enterprise itself, it's a lot better. It
Yeah.
struggles with the shuttles and things, but even the
Yeah.
space dock, that's pretty good. This particular shot, very good.
Guys, nobody was looking at it like that. They were just like, wow, I can't believe we had two-dimensional images of Scotty and Kirk
How do you
on
feel
that
about
shuttle
that
pod.
thick black outline around this floating
No,
astronaut?
no. Nobody was thinking.
No, they were just looking at Kirk.
Yeah, and then
Are we
now we
sure
have,
that's Kirk? Are we 100% sure he's not like a stunt double
It's sort
or
of a
something? This
difference
is clearly a
between
different man.
really, really planning it out, really, really knowing what you're doing with it. It's in 2001, as opposed to here, they've got the shots.
Kubrick
Going back
was
to Lower Decks for a moment, they get to Deep Space Nine. Just circle around and look like you're in awe of the pylons. Just keep
Yeah.
circling. They are nice
the little
pylons, though.
lights.
They're pretty good pylons.
The little lights that I love them because they're totally real. Everything lighting up the model, the lights interior of the model too.
Yeah, it was a really, really, really good model.
The flickering chroma key
And they
on the
spent a
edge.
very, very, very long time showing us the model.
Yeah.
What was it like? 15 feet?
Well, they didn't know they're making a second film after this, at least when they were making the models. They wanted to
Yeah.
get the best out of it in the film.
They reused that footage too. Yeah.
ILM was just like, please, as much footage as humanly possible that you can
Is
put
this
into
an
this
ad
film,
for
just use it
ILM?
all.
Yeah.
The whole
Is
of
this-
Star Trek is an ad for ILM, except for Insurrection.
So, but you know the
What's wrong with
gratuitousness.
Insurrection?
It didn't use ILM,
Oh.
which is why the effects are mediocre compared to Nemesis and First Contact.
I assume this is a lot more impressive on a movie screen, because
Yeah.
on mine it's just like, yep, that's the Enterprise for sure.
No,
It would have been phenomenal when it
Yeah,
first came out.
it would have been
so,
amazing
yeah.
at the time.
Okay.
I'm watching it across. It must be. Let's just call it 65 inches right now. It is incredible because you can see like every single little. It's like Star Wars looking at the Millennium Falcon. You can see each of the rivets and bolts.
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon, that thing's a piece of junk.
Yeah. You know, something else.
The Millennium Falcon is a very impressive model, though.
That's what I'm trying. It is. Something else though. Alien with Sigourney Weaver that came also 10 years later than this. The Nostromo was a very well done model of a giant. And they, before CGI, you had to work all day to make these cast models.
I still have to the CG models. It's just
It still takes a while to
Different.
make the CGs, but it's
It's
nowhere
just-
near
it's
as
just with
much
CG,
physical
you don't-
effort.
yeah.
You know,
The
you
hot
can
glue.
modify the parts that you've made in CG, whereas you're
Yeah.
stuck with what you've got in the
Very
real
stuck.
world.
Very stuff.
Is it
I
daylight
saw this
savings
YouTube.
already?
Is it?
I saw this.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's
It
gonna
is
be
daylight
yeah, it
savings.
is today.
Yes.
Oh yeah, today's the day. You're right. I saw this YouTube channel of this guy. His job is a professional Lego maker. On your first day, they tell you to make a ball, a sphere out of Legos, and then they drop it on the floor and tell you to make it again.
Yeah, but it's saving, not savings.
So basically,
So
they're
they
teaching you
haze
to
Lego
accept.
people.
They're teaching you that look, you can always break it and
They're
build it
teaching
better
you
again.
that your work is expendable and you can't accomplish anything.
These are very long sequence. We're just talking for time now.
The whole movie's
So-
like that. The whole movie's gonna be like this.
Yeah,
The
no.
weird thing about the daylight savings thing is it's daylight savings for the US, but not the UK yet. So we're now
Yeah.
separated by an hour more than usual. It's really strange.
Yep, it won't be until the end of the month, as it tells me on
End of the
Discord.
month, yeah. It feels like longer than usual. Is it always a month? What, 20 days?
If you want to check what time a stream is, you can refer to the Discord events tab, which will automatically convert to your local time zone.
Well, it's just an hour earlier than it usually is, but yeah.
Yeah. For us, it's always at this time, though.
Yes.
Sorry to
Yeah.
tell you, but yeah.
It's always 12 p.m. my time. Is that a robot
So-
voice?
yeah.
Not like a robot voice out of universe. What happened to Major
so-
Barrett?
Which is interesting because it was never a robotic voice in TOS.
Well, it was also
So
always
the-
Kirk in TOS.
I watched this a few
In terms
times.
of the computer voice and things like that, it was Major Roddenberry.
I watched it a few times with our friend Moon, and she pointed out
Alright,
to me on more than one occasion. This film almost exists within its own canon universe because this is supposed to be the same Enterprise as the TOS Enterprise, but
Are
it's
we
clearly
sure?
not. And they say
This
it's a
is-
refit. No, this is the same. It's not A. A's next movie.
See, this is
is
the
Yeah.
benefit of having the bridge module just on the top. It just screws right out. You screw in a new bridge
Yeah,
module and you're
yeah.
good.
That is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually, since this movie came out, the explicit purpose of the different parts of the ship.
Yeah. So that's why it's a complete refit, but like clearly it's not the same ship. I don't think so.
Oh, look at that depth of field. It's very fancy.
And then by the way, so the movie wasn't ready for filming here either. This is actually the original bridge set. Or was it the Phase 2 bridge set? But either way, it's still constructed out of the original one.
Chekhov still
Oh,
looks
this is-
like Chekhov entirely there.
This is
Oh,
a
look,
TNG
anti-gravity devices.
hallway.
Yeah. Oh, all this was reused
How much
for
of this was
TNG.
reused for TNG?
All of it. This set is from TNG. This is the top deck of the engineering.
That warp core looks awfully Voyager-like, though.
Hmm. Well, Voyager's was... No, that was practical, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was probably a remade version of this. Actually, it might have been that column just taken out and reused. Don't quite remember.
Well, they've
I grew up
also
watching
got
it.
the weird horizontal one.
Yep.
You know, with your family, brothers and sisters, when you're 10 years old, you can't watch a lot of shows. So Seventh Heaven was one of them that we watched. And this guy, Phil Collins, I think is his name. I don't know. He was the dad or the pastor in Seventh Heaven of a Christian family. So it was really interesting seeing how, and also the thing was they had 5 kids, later 7 kids. So
Wait,
it was
hang on.
about
Is this William Shatner talking, or was this originally part of the script? Whose idea was it to have Kirk do a full ego trip over the captain?
I mean, it makes a lot
We
of
already
sense,
meet-
right? Yes.
Did we already meet Aaliyah?
No. Ilea.
Good.
No, we don't know about the Oath of Celibacy yet.
Look, he says here
I
this is
thought
almost
we still had 2 episodes of TOS
No,
left.
it's done.
nope.
We
it was
watched the
ended
really
on
sexist
sexist
one,
note.
Yeah.
and that's it. That's the series finale.
This super
Will
sex-
is not capitalized in these subtitles for some weird reason.
Subtitles are notoriously wrong, but
Yeah.
The subtitles are summarizing what people say.
Yeah, sometimes summarize it, but it's weird to not have it dramatically correct.
But the thing is, though, it makes sense, though, right? Because obviously we're 10 years later, and he wouldn't be a captain; he'd be a admiral.
He's been behind
Yeah.
a desk for the last few years. He's been filling out
But
reports.
the funny thing is, in the next movie, Spock is Captain Spock doing Kobayashi Maru at the Academy. So explain that to me. Why is he not?
I
in
feel
on
like there isn't a standard format for a uniform. It's like everybody has a different uniform,
that? The color is gray. The theme is
completely different style.
I think Kirk's
Everyone's
probably
gray.
looks the best. Everyone else looks like pajamas.
gray jumpsuits. Okay, so this is the part.
It's a running
where-
joke. Whenever Star Trek characters run back in time, it's like, what? You get kicked out in your pajamas? What happened? But these people for real, though.
Kurt's taking over the control of the transporter.
Shatner,
ship's
come on, it's
undergoing
not
a
every scene's
refit.
about you.
You know,
we
everybody's
watching the
putting the
theatrical
bucket out of
cut?
the water.
I have no idea what cut we're watching. We're watching a cut that is exactly 2 hours and 12 minutes long, whatever cut that is.
Oh, this is the
It
short.
turned
this is
inside
the
out,
theatrical
and it
cut.
exploded.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's more boring.
There's a longer cut.
Yeah, I don't want that one.
Mine is shorter, but it's more tightly cut, like with deleted scenes in there.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Also, I'm watching in 4K. So
This bit does seem a bit unnecessary to show that the Enterprise is malfunctioning. You just killed 2 crew.
Worth it.
they're
What we got
undergoing
wasn't
a
human.
refit. They're undergoing a refit, and you even see like 5 minutes ago when Kirk first distracted Decker and Scotty,
It-
they were taking out a part for the transporter, so that's what caused the malfunction.
What we got back didn't live long. They were 2
Fortunately.
people. What we got back didn't live long.
By the way,
They
you
weren't
even
people
hear
on
them.
the other side.
You hear them screaming. So that was Commander Sonak, the Vulcan science officer who was supposed to join Kirk on the ship.
Gosh.
He was
Yeah.
liquefied.
They were quite
Dennis Rand is back.
Vulcan science
Wow.
officers.
It wasn't
Whoops.
Janice's fault because that was a malfunction, which they said, do not bring them over here. They will die.
Yeah. Although,
Okay, so yes, this is theatrical cut.
Well, now we have to
Okay.
get Spock.
okay, the most boring one, but I guess Ryan, you're a purist.
I guess because this is the version that I happen to have.
You got to get the 4K Ultra.
Just get the full the
Look,
director's
if you're
cut.
telling me there's a strictly better version that takes out some of the pointless camera work, that I'm all for it.
Yeah, a little bit. They do tight. Look, it wasn't a bad movie. It was actually a great movie. I later came to realize it actually represents the best of what Star Trek is, because, like I said, Decker becomes this alien being, and he joins the love of his life.
As people do in Star
Yep.
Trek.
Yeah, I mean that's
They
why you
often
become
turn
an
into
officer.
non-corporeal life forms to have a romance.
But-
I do
but
appreciate
this,
in the
uh,
background all the characters of like different cultures showing different cultural dress. Well, all of them. A few of them have that.
There's some aliens as well.
Yeah. So
Andorian.
something amazing. They created so many props for this movie.
Ooh, pictures
Like
of
they
the
wanted to
Enterprise.
have the tricorders and thingamajigs in everybody's hand. And right, that's the shuttlecraft Discovery too, which was contemporary at the time.
Oh, I saw one of the
had-
Linus species from Discovery in the background.
I had an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time.
I think this thing becomes the cargo bay for TNG. We don't see it ever again, by the way.
This set is really
this is the
big.
recreation deck.
Yeah.
In the background of the recreation deck, there's pictures of the different Enterprise ships.
Yeah,
and they
there's
have that
pictures
one
from
like ring
the
ship.
Star Trek Enterprise intro.
This is, of course, the film which starts there is only one ship in the path of the
But
one
this-
ship around Earth Enterprise, so we've got to deal with it.
Yeah.
There's also only one USS Enterprise aircraft carrier there rather than 2. Which I believe changes in TNG.
The Enterprise, the second Enterprise aircraft carrier would be very, very new at this point.
When
Are
did this
they?
come out?
Hold on a second. Did they make a new Enterprise and the new they're building
Yes,
new
it's a
aircraft
powered Enterprise.
carriers. No, I'm
Well,
saying
Yeah,
like, in
I
real
think
life
there is
right
going
now.
to be a new Enterprise.
Yeah,
there probably
that's
will
what
be
I'm
new
saying.
Enterprise.
But is it
But there was one at the
CDN65? I
time.
can't remember what the current one is. But
So this line is really important because he says our scans are being interpreted as an attack. By the way, this thing was later used as the Argus Array for TNG model, which causes Barclay to become super intelligent in the nth degree.
That's
No,
partially
it wasn't the
accurate.
Argus Array. It wasn't the Argus Array that did it. It was the alien probe that was at the causing the Argus Array to malfunction.
Okay, right. And the Argus Array also was Geordi was like hacked into it or something, or hacked by it when the Romulans wanted to do intelligence.
Geordi, no. Again, it was the alien probe.
Okay. But that's when the Argus Array was used. But yeah, the thing is, don't
The
scan.
Argus Array featured
Look, the
in
Argus
a few
Array shows up
episodes.
a few times, and you never want to go there.
It was in-
Something always goes wrong.
It was in
Yeah.
parallels.
You
It
do.
was in parallels. It was in
Right,
nth
right,
degree.
There's an interesting point here, though, that the camera is still on when they've destroyed the
Don't worry about that.
facility.
The external view camera.
Yeah. So headcanon, it must be something which is so technologically minuscule that it doesn't show up to the entity.
Something else Moon and I like
40
geek out
minutes. What are we
over.
waiting for? Just go.
They need
Is
to make
that-
sure that the Enterprise
Do
is
the
ready.
transporter people count as away team deaths?
Are
Yes.
no.
No, they weren't
That
no
was-
team.
Yeah.
That was in office team
beaming-
deaths.
Up. They were beaming up.
That
from
was
the-
workplace hazard.
imagine getting assigned to the Enterprise and you beam up to it for the first time and you just die.
Yeah.
I think-
Imagine being the first
Fortunately.
transporter death in like 100 years.
I think when you
and
get
it
the
just happened to
assignment,
be these ones.
I think when you get the
Oh,
assignment, you
Deck
understand
already
there's
has a
non-zero chance.
relationship with her. It is just, God, it is just Riker and
It's-
Troy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Ketra, what was that? The smile.
just
I knew it
known.
was Riker and Troy, but I didn't remember that they copied the format so precisely.
So precisely.
It
And
was
she's
known.
she's empathic too, by the way. So she's like, just a good thing they didn't make Deanna Troy shave her head.
No, he doesn't. Don't lie to her, Decker. He hates you. He took over your ship. Gene, why are you the way that you are?
By the way, she's from India, so you know.
Yeah, she was, she was a model.
Kirk just
Prior
knows
to this.
automatically that it's Matoy.
Yeah, I'm
I
surprised
wonder why
they
people
didn't
would be
have.
hesitant to beam up to the Enterprise. That's crazy.
I'm surprised Kirk doesn't steal Ilea. Like, you stole my ship, Jim. Now you're stealing my girlfriend.
Well, that's why she established the relationship by saying my oath of celibacy.
They
is on
drafted
record."
me.
Can Starfleet do that? Can they draft people?
The military can pull you up at any time.
But
you
they're
can't go
not
down
a
the
military.
military.
They're a scientific
And-
exploration division.
So
And
my
strictly
friend,
speaking, the military cannot just draft anybody at any time.
so
I did.
if you are a former soldier and they need you, you can be pulled back into service.
They can ask you to. They can
That's what- that
reactivate
is
you and say,
literally the
"Would you
premise of
come
Stargate."
back?" And they're like, "You're like, no."
And you say, no,
That's
General,
literally the
I'm
premise of both the
retired.
Stardate film and the Stardate TV series.
Yeah.
They ask him, and he come right.
And then they,
I mean,
and
look,
then he says
assume-
no,
look,
and then the bad guys show up and kill his yak or
Right.
something. Then he's like, I guess I'm back in it for the long haul.
They kill. They kill his dog and they steal his
Yeah.
car.
yeah.
That's how drafting
He's like,
works.
people keep asking me if I'm back. Yeah, I think I'm back.
Okay, but you know, just special forces. The idea is though you're serving your country. You know, you're not really like your own. You're needed. You know, we gotta take out a bad guy.
Heck, I think if you're talking about drafting, okay, there's drafting and there's reactivating. So like, if you're getting drafted, you have to be between 18 and something. There's some cutoff age. I don't remember what it is.
Well, as we've seen,
30
the
something.
age can just keep going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they could
They
change
run
the
out of
age.
people.
Are you talking
What's
about?
the point
Are you
of
talking
making it
about
blurry?
I'm talking about Russia.
Russia?
Oh, okay, yeah.
What's the point of making it blurry?
So this film kind of
The point of making it
shows
blurry. Wait, why did it not read that out? It was supposed to read that
So-
in
No,
voice.
it did read it. It did.
Did it? Why didn't I hear it? Why am I not getting the sound?
Well, you might need to adjust the.
Oh, we
the
have
volumes
more
of the
exterior
people,
shots? I forgot.
participants.
I totally
Anyway, the
Oh,
point
yeah.
of it
The
being
best-
blurry
this is
is
the
to
best-
avoid being copyright struck and my channel being deleted. That's why it's blurry. You need to have your
Let me
own
see-
copy of the
This is-
movie to
Now
watch
ask
on
whether
your.
we can sing.
That played for me. I heard Elizabeth's one. Why didn't the previous? Oh, whatever.
This scene is the best scene in the whole movie.
All right,
Hey, wait, is this where the guy does the backflip? The guy does the backflip, right?
That sounds vaguely
Yes.
familiar.
Yes.
Astronaut. There's an astronaut on the dry dock that does a backflip.
He's having a great time on his job. Yeah, there he goes. He loves it.
Oh, I guess the front
He's
flip.
thrilled.
This is the best studio model I think that was ever built.
I mean, they don't give it the A because that wasn't a thing in this film. But they do explicitly several times call out that it's completely refit.
It's not. It's
Like
not
they
an A yet.
rebuilt the
It's
whole
the-
sick bay.
Ryan, in your
the,
edition,
uh,
I can see the grain of the footage. That's crazy.
The A is the Yorktown that gets rechristened to Enterprise A. It's
Yeah,
a whole other ship after the
in
ship
this
gets
version-
destroyed in Search for Spock.
I don't know if it's fixed in other versions, but yeah, you can see the damage to the film. You can see the grain. You can see like flickering at the edge of the chroma key where they're comping it into the shot.
Yeah.
This scene looks fine. Previous ones, it was really bad. Like there were whole chunks of the
As
ship
well in
missing.
this one. Hmm.
Oh, wow. They did this the catwalk thing that Enterprise also features.
Are you saying that Enterprise actually watched
Yeah.
and referenced Star Trek?
Yeah. So Moon and I always bring up like this film exists in its own canon. Other Star Trek films also borrow the plot several times. Like Star Trek 4 is the same thing. Massive alien entity coming to destroy Earth. Only the Enterprise is in the sector. But also here, Starfleet is specifically a military. We see it spelled out in Star Trek 2 where the military is taking the Genesis device.
Oh. Sorry. That's the student's answer to this question. It's a bit annoying.
Gene, you're not allowed to play music this dramatic. Nothing's happening.
He's just reveling in being back in Star Trek, that's all.
The Intruder, if you follow the
The
subtitle.
intruder. The intruder.
Wait, they're not even at warp?
Interception points.
Is that professional flirting? What am I looking at here? Oh, thank God he shaved.
Yeah,
He's like,
she said she's celibate, and then it's just.
I'm gonna make you break
working,
your oath.
flirting him.
Look, she's asexual, not aromantic. There's a difference. She still wants to hang out.
there is a difference. There are
There
so
is,
many, so many different things now people can be. It's mind-boggling. I need a quick reference guide.
Well, the quick reference guide is basically people can be what they want to be, let them live their own lives, and there you go. That's the whole guide.
Yeah, I just when I would like to. First of all, it was mostly kind of a joke, but there are some things. It's like, huh, I've never heard of that. What does that even mean?
What's the little like nozzle on Scotty's chest on his suit? Is that like an air tube? Is it a tether spot? No, that's a serious question. What is that? What function does that serve? They all have it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I assume,
wow.
I assume it's like when you're going in the radiation zone, you need like oxygen piped to you or something. Um, so something amazing I learned reading up on this film, all the various TV screens that function as the science consoles and all that. For this movie alone, the person who did that, he recorded
Intravenous
various
whiskey dispenser.
he recorded various oscillators, scopes, bloops and dots and beeps, and they had like over 200 made just for this film, and it took them a
Is that-
whole long time.
So
Dear
this
chat.
wormhole here, the photon torpedo wormhole, it is a lot less weird than the Star Trek 4 time travel bit with like the whale and the marble heads. And what was I even looking at with that scene?
Well, this torpedo actually doesn't. This wormhole does not actually factor into the plot. This is just like a little hookup they have.
This is
'Cause we have
just to
3
make
hours
it so they don't. This wormhole exists so they can go at warp 1 and still have a damaged warp drive when they get to V'ger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, they have a tense moment between Kirk and Decker here because Decker overrides his order.
Even a real wormhole, there would not be any way of getting out of it. Even though,
How do
well,
you know?
potentially if you could get reversed.
So we never. There's a
But it'd
reason
be
we
very
never see this
unlikely.
in Star Trek again. A pointless wormhole that doesn't take us anywhere or do anything.
Yeah.
Because
So,
we don't have.
as I mentioned before, if you try to speed this scene up to make them talk at normal rate, you can't do it because the actors are actually just talking really slowly.
I never knew that. I thought they slowed it down.
So when you try to
Nope.
speed it up, it's still you can't get it to sound quite right because they're like drawing out their syllables. So some words might work, but others are really weird, and it's
They're just talking like they're drunk, basically. Slurring their words.
So the really
Sounds
that was
just
clearly
and
Jonathan
applying an effect as
Frakes.
if they slowed it down.
Sounds like Jonathan Frakes when you watch the Fact or Fiction slowed down
Beyond belief.
50%. Yeah, is it not Beyond Belief? Fact or Fiction? Is like this?
Yeah.
The
The subtitles factor.
0.7 what, Earlier?
0.7 masses. Hope it helps. It's a small asteroid the size of a large asteroid.
What
Um,
I should only guess that there's a standard size for asteroid they've come up with, and that's 0.7
Speaking-
times that.
Speaking of asteroids, have you guys heard of the Apophis asteroid?
I've heard of Apophis from Stargate.
So there's an asteroid called Apophis that's going to be in the next year or so. It's going to be making a close approach to Earth, and there's
That
a
happens all
700
the
mile
time.
wide. Yeah, it'll be the largest thing ever recorded, the largest closest thing ever recorded coming past Earth, and I guess there's a 700 mile wide window, and if it crosses into this window, its orbit will be altered enough so that the next time it comes by in about 14 years, it'll actually hit us. And then it's the size of the Rose Bowl, because Americans will measure with any unit other than actual units.
According to NASA.gov, a 2068 impact is not in the realm of possibility anymore, and our calculations don't show any impact risk for at least the next 100 years.
Oh, cool.
We're good. We're not dying
Or
yet.
are they just
well,
saying
not to
that to
asteroids
prevent
anyway.
panic?
that means it's definitely going to hit us, by the way, because that means like all our experts are going to be wrong about this one, and this is going to be the one.
I'm just saying, if it was going to hit us, they wouldn't tell us.
I'd say it would be more accurate to say the chances of it hitting us are like a bajillion to 1. That's what they should say. But anyway,
I've seen how this movie ends, Ryan. They always say it's not going to hit us, and then it hits us.
so the drama that happened was
They're
that
going to
Kirk
send a
ordered-
secret mission of drillers to detonate a bomb on the asteroid.
I
That's
don't
right.
want to close my eyes.
No, they're going
No.
to send Elon Musk with space drones, and then they're going to break because they were made cheaply.
Have you seen the movie
You know what
Don't
you've done
Look
to my
Up?
quarters?
Sorry, what did you say, Ryan?
Have you seen the movie Don't Look Up? which is
No,
about an
look up.
asteroid hitting Earth, and then
Wow, nice title.
well,
have a-
not to
they have a
spoil too
character-
much, but
Wait, it's a comet technically, but yeah.
okay, sure. The point is big rock,
Yeah, we all
big
die,
space
right? That's
rock,
also the point.
and people
But
are
none of
like,
us
"Oh
see it.
no, we don't want to redirect it. We can mine it. We can think of how much profit
they
we
wanna-
can make," and then everyone dies.
They want to break it. They want to break it into pieces so that they can put it in the Pacific Ocean and then mine it for resources.
That I
right?
think is the most
And-
realistic outcome for if we are actually threatened by a massive asteroid.
No, so the thing
People
is,
try
if
to
you break
exploit it for
up, the
profit, and we all
chances-
die.
Oh, okay, right. But the thing is, though, breaking it up is not a good idea because like multiple impact sites could actually be more dangerous.
If you break enough into enough bits, it'll burn up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's a great idea. But what I'm saying is, though, if you have like 3
You
chunks,
need to be a lot of bits, though.
If it's like 4 chunks hitting us now instead of just one, we're in.
Listen, man. I don't know if you understand this, but the plan failed and the planet gets destroyed. That's the whole point.
All right.
It's it's inherently a bad plan.
No, the original plan, they were sending up a mission. Everything
They
was
were going
ready
to
to
destroy
go,
it. Yeah.
and then
they
they just
aborted the
called it
mission.
off because they realized, or they thought they could profit.
It's not gonna hit.
Well, we have successfully deflected an asteroid way out in space.
That's cool.
So do we actually have a solution now?
We use the booster,
Now
right?
we've got one of
to,
those
like-
Star Trek episodes where it's going to hit some other planet, and they're going to be really mad at us.
Well, just change the gravitational constant of the universe.
You
Come on,
just
Yeah.
do it.
you just do it.
But that's true, though. You know, in space, momentum's a little bit easier, right? If you just applied like thrust in a different direction.
If you
even a
catch
small-
it early enough and you
Yeah.
intercept it early enough,
Yeah.
you can just give it a little nudge.
Yeah,
Point
And push it out of the
001
way.
degrees, and you're good.
you're great.
And then it's someone else's problem 1,000 years from now.
I mean,
this
with the
scene is
speed
great.
asteroids are going, we're talking like millions to billions of years if it actually goes somewhere else.
So in case you don't
Oh, no,
remember,
I mean, it comes back around. It'll maybe, at some point down the road, it'll intercept Earth again, and it'll be. I'm not talking about some other civilization's problem.
I meant some other civilization. But in case you don't remember the original series, Bones is always Kirk's like moral compass. It's like I don't know what I have to do here morally, and Spock was his intellectual guide, or like making sure you do the right thing.
Well, Spock is doing some weird ritual on Vulcan right now.
So, but Bones reminded him, like, Jim, are you sure you didn't come back to take the ship just because you're a selfish asshole? He's like,
Bill,
maybe
what
you're
are you
right.
doing?
Maybe you're right. But see, here's the thing, right? Even to the end where Generations and Picard, where Kirk never dies, watching TOS with you guys, Jim Kirk is Starfleet's greatest guy,
Is he?
and that's what this is.
He's
Are
the
you sure?
best. He's the best boy.
he-
Sorry,
In that
he's the best
era, he
boy.
is, I suppose.
I
I
give
guess
you
we
Well,
that.
I'm
only
saying
see
the
a
guy
few
still
other
isn't dead.
captains, and they're all dead. So
No, but what I'm saying is though, like in this film too, right? Decker could not have saved the Federation. We needed Jim
What about-
Kirk to come back.
how did the Klingons get here?
Bold statement.
Oh wait, no, that's not a Klingon ship. What am I? Oh, okay. I saw 2 pointing nacelles. I assumed it was a Klingon bird.
Kalard is the
It's
same
some form
thing
of Korea.
in TNG.
It's Spock, basically.
In
It's a Vulcan
torpedo-
shuttle. Why does
Oh, it
this
has one of
separate
those,
from the
like,
shuttle?
nacelles.
Star Wars Episode 2 hyperspace things.
Yeah.
Yeah. The warp drive is separate and it separates, which is weird.
Really nice models though. Really nice blinking lights on models. Like
That's got to
this
be
stuff costs
nauseating for Spock, though. That was spinning real fast.
money.
Well, inertial dampers. So I think in TNG they have a Vulcan shuttlecraft that is modeled after this or similar design to this.
They would have used a triangle ship if they had one.
It was after the triangle ship, but it wasn't a triangle ship.
Spock.
The Vulcans never had a triangle ship, as far as I know.
They did in Enterprise.
The Vulcans never had a triangle ship, as far as I know.
Okay.
I don't remember them having one. They had some
They had
really
ring
weird designs, but I don't
ships
think they ever
in-
had a
I
triangle.
love
Enterprise.
Leonard Nimoy.
The
In Enterprise,
Tikhonov
they
was
were already
particularly weird design.
they were already all
No.
100% CG, so they didn't need to have reuse the triangle ship over and over again for every species.
This scene makes no sense because How do you come
I'm
on
here
the
to
ship with
relieve
them?
you as first officer.
It's just
Oh,
Spock
yeah,
went
not-
immediately from boarding up to the bridge.
He's
He was
taken
identified as a
his.
Starfleet officer inactive.
Okay, okay.
Kirk took his ship, demoted him to first officer. Spock shows up, demotes him to nothing.
Okay, no. Decker is still executive officer. He's no longer science officer because Commander Zahn died in the transporter accident.
Kirk steals his girlfriend.
You guys are finding plot holes where there are none. This film is airtight. Okay.
It's not a plot hole. It's just everyone's being a dick to Decker.
Decker is still the executive officer. He's just no longer science
No
officer. He's
wonder-
literally
no
there
wonder-
as the executive officer, and that's it.
How
No
was it
wonder
a surprise
Decker
he
wants
is on
to-
board? Surely Kirk approved
wonder-
the docking.
Don't worry about that.
He approved the docking knowing that it was some courier coming to the ship, and then they did some security clearance.
When
But for some reason, the security clearance didn't
Also-
actually identify the spot.
Hey, Majel.
I get the impression this isn't the first time that Kirk and Spock have practiced docking.
when
What is with that depth of field just around Kirk's head? Why are they blurring out everything around his head?
Vaseline going on?
It's not even.
Um,
That's a post-processing effect.
Yeah. Or like a lens effect or something. Yeah.
No, it's not in because everything else in the scene at the same distance isn't blurred. It's just the little spot around his head.
No. The whole
They put
everything's
Vaseline on the
blurred, actually.
lens.
The people behind McCoy are blurred too. But you're right; they're more blurred, like a halo around Kirk. But when Commander Zahn died in the transporter accident, Kirk
Like the blur
tells
of coke
Decker,
and grease. Ads in the back.
Kirk tells Decker that he wants another Vulcan as science officer, and Decker says there are none available. And now we have Spock.
You just melted the one on the transporter pad.
Spock's the only
Yeah, you see-
Vulcan in the sector.
By the way, so these consoles are definitely from the TOS thing. Then they upgraded them. I guess the
Only
additional-
Vulcan Starfleet officer. Maybe, but there was definitely other Vulcans where Spock was when Spock left. So
Yeah.
Big vibes of. It's called a Warp 5 starship. Yeah, on paper.
Yeah.
Are we
This
sure we
became
wanna go this
10 forward
fast?
in TNG. Kirk's those big windows. And we already noted the hallways are the same.
Warp 7.
By the way, I just read, right? Chekhov's little like nook in the wall wasn't even ready when they started filming. That was ready like he was supposed to be in a bubble, and they realized the bubble looked stupid.
The thing about a lot of this at the start of the film is, had you put the characters in different starting locations, this entire first act would have been unnecessary.
This is like the 20 movies leading up to Avengers. They gotta assemble the team.
Yeah.
Come on, there's a lot of
Remember
movies where
how
they spend that
the
first
Return
act
of the King-
assembling the
Had
team.
they have put them in Starfleet still, there would have been no issue with getting them together like this.
It's
Hey,
the
you gotta
inverse
show
Return
that
of the
you're-
King. Return of the King has 30 different
Right.
unnecessary outros. This movie has 30
Right.
different unnecessary intros.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, didn't they skip the scouring of the Shire?
Yeah, they removed that whole
In-
chapter.
They didn't
They,
show
well,
it.
hang on. We
They
saw a
haven't.
little bit of it in the Mirror of Galadriel as like a possible.
They're all on
future
green
thing.
screen in this scene as well.
The subway cars from the 70s had this like orange.
Spock has a really good
hair
setup for
looking.
his emotional arc that's necessary. Best part of the movie.
But that's
This decor
his
was
emotional arc
so
about
good.
being tied to his emotions.
This was
that
originally
already
supposed
set
to
up
be a
in the
series
show.
and
We
should
already
have been
know
a
that.
series.
Yes.
Yeah. But this aesthetic was so futuristic back in the 70s, even though it looks like very outdated and like gaudy to us. Like, but
Like, how
this
come
is
Kirk
supposed
looks
to be
like he's a cruise ship captain? I guess they need to have Spock's
Ooh.
setup of his emotional thing for people who just haven't seen the show.
1979.
yeah. But also,
They have to introduce all the information that we all already know, so it's pointless
Yeah.
for us. But maybe other
Yeah.
people don't. It's for new audiences.
11 years since the series.
And
Some
then
Yeah,
It
you
was
have
almost-
to
it was
you have to
much younger
approach
than it
this
was.
as they expected some of the audience to never have seen the television
Join
show.
too late for Disco McCoy.
True.
No,
McCoy
the
is
show
so
got
weird.
more popular in syndication, so it had an even bigger crowd, and kids watching it.
Yeah, but they still want to appeal to the people who have never seen it.
Yeah.
The stakes are raised by that ceremony, not as passive a conflict.
Yeah.
There's a super intelligence.
Another thing, like
find it-
in Best of
I
Both
do find this
Worlds,
movie very hard to audio balance. All the sound effects are pretty loud. All the people are really,
Yeah.
really quiet.
the dialogue is really low. Yeah. All
Okay,
the
totally unrelated. The BG3 Twitch
Mhm.
integration is quite neat.
The what? Twitch
Battlestar
integration?
Galactica 3.
Baldur's Gate 3 Twitch integration actually has
Ah.
the Baldur's Gate 3 UI style if for the integration.
In Best of Both
Oh,
Worlds,
dramatic
when
space noise.
someone is destroying colonies on both sides, like we don't know who it is, it's also very much reminiscent, I feel, of this thing, which is just the Klingons are destroyed and the other people are destroyed. The Argus array.
That is an interesting point about the vessel. It stands you, but if you stand it back, then you are counted as hostile.
Yeah.
My only explanation for that would be that it's a different frequency of scan or something like that, which it detects as causing harm.
Maybe it just has a harsh double standard.
Yeah.
Screens and shields, Mr. Decker. Yeah, that worked out so great for the Klingons.
That's the thing. You're dealing with an animal or an intelligence that's way different than yours, so you shouldn't assume.
No, Spock, we established that like 30 minutes ago. There was a scan, remember? We know there's something in the middle.
Like, I feel like a handshake is pretty universal. If you shake someone's hand, you're kind of saying
Kind of
I
like
don't
the
have...
Dyson sphere in TNG thinking the hail is a docking signal.
But somebody might not see it as a friendly action or inherently, like, are you trying to grab me? Like, they just might not be a touchy person or see it as agreement. So don't do a sensor handshake with this person. Discovery's obviously, it has that giant alien intelligence thing. I feel like it comes from here too. I mean, it literally comes
Wait
from
a
here.
sec. Wait a sec. While this sounds great, this nebula thing, isn't this the same nebula they use as like, an actual nebula in TNG?
Yeah. Yep,
same
it's reused
effect.
a lot. Yep.
I recognize the shape of the conical space clouds.
Hi all, can't believe I have missed an hour of this. Did daylight savings already occur in the US?
It did,
Yes.
but don't worry. The movie just started, so
So you're saying Vika
they
doesn't like
just
hugs,
got to
laughing
the
face.
cloud. They just got to the cloud. All the introductions are done.
Everybody
There's
assembled.
coffee in that
I mean,
nebula.
that's literally almost halfway through the film.
The Avengers have assembled. Oh
you
yeah, this
guys
is
don't
totally where
appreciate
the
cinema.
Enterprise was hiding from the Borg in Best of Both Worlds.
This is called cinema, guys. Okay,
Star Trek
you do
reusing footage,
called
effects,
art.
and locations.
Art film.
Crazy thought.
LOL.
You're making vulgar films for the masses, and we're trying to do art.
First
over
hour
here.
is just exposition.
Ryan, did you say Avengers assembled?
Yes, the Avengers are assembled.
These special effects were
No. Okay, so what I just discovered is the mute button doesn't get rid of someone's soundboard. So if someone starts blasting soundboard stuff, I just have to disconnect them from the server.
There's a soundboard mute button, Ryan. Right click on somebody's name and his soundboard mute.
Yes, I've now muted your soundboard, but like when I press server mute to completely mute you for everybody, why doesn't that?
You muted my soundboard permanently?
Surely this will not be abused.
Come on. Hey, have I ever abused it? Come on, it was
You literally
once
just
in a
did,
great
yes.
while when It was a tie into something we were just talking about.
Yeah, but you brought it up again just to play the sound, which is kind of a little bit.
Because I wasn't close enough to push the button when he said it.
Be ready next time, and then it wouldn't be gratuitous.
Well,
No.
to be honest, if you had just pressed it when I said Avengers Assembled, I wouldn't have gotten it because I don't actually watch any of the Marvel stuff. I'm just conceptually aware of Avengers.
Avengers 2012 is a good film.
The theme is pretty good too.
Kirk loves
But,
that chair spin. Really leans into it.
I really
Bill
like
Shatner
that
leans into everything he does in this.
Spock's console is the exact same console from TOS. I mean, that is just
Mr. Spock.
it
Sir, drop the shields. I bet that's going to be the actual answer. Drop the shields.
So something cool. Spock says the lingua code is like 1.5 trillion times faster or something, and then he basically, if you it's slowed down, that's how he Oh, I didn't realize Spock has a little pod that he sits
Need a
in now.
chair spin counter.
I need a desk like that.
I can't be hovering over the counter for this whole thing.
The armrests that fold over your lap.
I need that.
Spock got a he's a really fancy state. Everyone else okay, Spock's the guy in IT who has 6 computer screens when everyone else only has 1.
Oh, and then when you ask for a second one, they're like, "Why do you need a second one?" You have to like give a good reason.
My job's the opposite. We all are required to have a second one, but they're never around to fixing the second one. The second one's always out of service because of some software.
What are you doing to your monitors? They're not supposed to break.
No. So the funny thing is the monitors they bought, the computers they bought, they don't have a thing for a second graphics card or like a graphics card port. The USB connects.
We don't
VGA,
have the budget for a second monitor.
and their second monitors are always out of service because the VGA
6
adapter
screens.
thing.
I'm in
is
this picture
always-
and I don't like it.
The VGA
He has a
adapters
point,
don't survive
Decker.
very long.
Yeah.
I
So
love all
Because
of the
they're
nuance
made
that you
they're
get
made
into
cheaply
Spock's eyebrow
in
raises.
China.
Right. Sorry, would you say Soma?
I love all the nuance you get in Spock's eyebrow raises. That one was, he has a point, Mr. Decker.
You know,
Maybe you should shut up, Mr. Decker.
Decker here, once Ilea disappears, Decker becomes like, he starts accusing everybody of being like hostile to the idea of rescuing Ilea. By the way, beautiful special effects. It's just stunning, like that model of the starship going into the nebula. So the reason for the slow pacing also, it kind of builds up the suspense because we don't know what's the heart of it. So you have to pretend like you don't know what V'ger stands for yet. We're like, holy cow, we've never seen.
We
such
are getting
amazing-
close to actual V'ger though, because real life Voyager
Mr. Decker
has
more
started
like Mr. Downbad.
returning nonsense data. It's going crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So maybe someone has touched it with their noodly appendage.
Ramen.
This is really beautiful though. This is why the build-ups are so slow.
ILM just showing off again. Yeah, we get it. It's very fancy.
I think they tightened up some of these shots.
Tulu, you good?
'Cause- Yeah. So the other thing
He
is
looks
the
like he's about to have a
psychedelics.
panic attack. Poor guy.
Psychedelics were taking off. So the idea that everybody is basically going through a trip of some
The
sort.
other thing to know about this movie is that ILM had literally just been created 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Rather, was in production, had released a film 2 years ago.
But see,
you
this
just implied that
this and
everybody
the
on the ship
sound-
is high.
and yes, and also the sound effects were groundbreaking for the film too. By the way, so the music and the instruments created. There's a really deep
2001
chord.
had this at the end of the movie, not halfway through.
True.
There's a really deep chord.
It looks
that,
good
like,
here,
is the
but how
sound of
did it look
V'ger.
on
It's like,
VHS and old school cinema?
And I was reading the guy who did it, and you use an artillery shell against a piece of wire that's 40 feet long. So that's how you create something that deep.
Well, Kirk, it turns out a vessel could generate a power field of that magnitude.
And by the way, I got to tell you,
By
on
virtue of the
giant
fact
screen,
there's a vessel here generating a power field of that
it's very
magnitude.
beautiful and trippy. I'm like far out. I think I'm in some psychedelic trip where I'm reborn as a star child in Stanley Kubrick's 2001.
Is that
Are you
Voyager, or is that
actually on
more-
psychedelics? That would explain a lot.
The asteroid
your
removal
favorite
scene
kind
is
of
tripping
drug?
too.
just smoke little
VGER.
But so Star Trek.
Doesn't weed normally calm people down?
No,
Yeah.
but it helps me study actually, even in college.
Yeah, it depends. It does depend on the person to an extent, but it does help mental ability, competency.
But the thing is, though, is that psychedelic culture also really appreciates Star Trek for pushing the boundaries of like.
Is this what
human-
I've never been high? Is this what it's like?
A little bit. Like
Is
when you
this what
close your eyes,
psychedelics
you see visual patterns like that when you're on LSD.
User.
Even in the
You live
that
in
makes you
live
high,
in
it is
California and you've
beneficial
never been
to an
high.
extent.
He's in Northern
It's
California.
LSD
that's
pumped
the-
into the air.
That's a
Vulcan
conservative
medication
part.
supplement.
No, dude. Northern California.
It's not. There's no conservative part.
You know, let me shut up. Sorry.
No. Let me tell you.
Vija.
Northern California is all weed all the time.
Okay.
There's whole documentaries about how this like entire third of the state is just pot farms.
Yeah. No, you know, the funny thing is that like California grows so much marijuana, like it no other state needs to grow marijuana for their legal marijuana program because California just exports it. So
Specifically,
that's
this
what-
section of marijuana. This
Yeah,
section of
so
California.
This section.
That's what happened.
You know
yeah,
what I
just,
mean.
like,
You know
This
what
section
I
of
mean.
marijuana.
Yes.
That's what happened. Like it was supposed to create a national weed industry, and it just turns out that California just makes so much weed.
Why do you
that,
think
like,
our it's not
it-
GDP. What's the appropriate term for the output of a state?
Yeah, per capita state.
This is why our economy is so high in California. If you'll pardon the marijuana expression.
And the
No,
tech
it's true.
industry.
I remember learning if America hadn't conquered California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas in 1850s, we would be going across the border for jobs because it's such a fertile region of the world. So it's funny how the tables turn.
It is,
The
however,
region is very
very prone to
fertile,
natural
Ryan.
disaster over here.
What Tark is about to do is essentially buzz the tower of the creature, whatever they think it is at the moment, or don't know it is at the moment. He's going to 500
Selena's Valley
meters and then back
sentiments.
out to 1,000 kilometers.
So is anybody here adept at programming for machines?
All
No,
programming is for machines. Could you be more specific?
that's true.
I want to build a machine that can sort things using both image recognition and OCR.
No.
Nice. So this.
So basically, I want it to look at an item and either read what the item says and sort it, or do like a also secondary verify with image recognition.
Something amazing on the ceiling here, you see like water or ocean, and Spock says a line that really doesn't make any sense. He goes, "This is V'ger's home planet," or like a recreation,
Just
a
ask
complete recreation,
ChatGPT.
right? Of V'ger's.
This is
I've asked-
Enterprise.
I've
Permission
asked-
to buzz the tower? Negative Enterprise. The pattern is full.
So to respond to chat about ChatGPT, I've asked ChatGPT for help programming before, and most of the code it gives me is garbage. It doesn't run. And
It
I've
does
tried
seem
and
like the
tried and
kind of
tried to
thing
make
AI would be
some of
good
it work.
for, though, recognizing images. Not right now, maybe.
Yeah, you're gonna have to use an AI to do it, but
By the way, so the guy who did the soundtrack for Star Trek: The Motion Picture, Goldman, I forgot his name. But
Jerry Goldsmith.
Thank
Jerry
you.
Goldsmith.
Thank you, sir. So Jerry Goldsmith did it for like 7 out of 12 Star Trek movies. And he also obviously did the TNG theme. But he did First
Well, the
Contact
TNG
also.
theme is just the theme
Right.
from the
Sorry,
motion
that's what I
picture.
meant to say. He did First Contact, where he incorporated the Klingon theme, which this movie starts with, where when we see Worf and the Defiant, you hear
Yeah, the Klingon theme is really good.
He's a genius. And he did the Voyager theme also. So he has given so
Are
much
Jeff
to Star Trek.
Goldblum and Will Smith in here somewhere?
So
Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith in there.
I don't know what that's a
Oh
reference
boy.
to.
this, I think, the entire planet or something, or Jerry Goldsmith, something like that. But
It's a reference to Independence Day.
oh, okay, gotcha.
The Independence Day
Will
mothership.
Smith was in Independence Day?
Because
Yeah, he was the
Will
original
Smith was
pilot.
in.
Independence Day.
I don't remember Will
They
Smith in that
collaborated on the
movie.
soundtrack.
He was the hero. But anyway, we're watching another movie from like.
Wow, I
way
don't
back
remember
when,
that
so you
movie
really
at
don't.
all, I guess.
Yeah, you really don't. But
Wow.
yeah, and it was controversial because in the second one he wasn't in it, so they put like a picture of him and like, oh yeah, poor guy died.
He wasn't in it because he demanded too much money because his head is too big.
Also,
To be honest, the
died
only
in the
thing
first
I
one.
really remember about Independence Day is Brent Spiner being a crazy scientist man.
That is the best scene.
He's back. He's back
Independence
for the sequel.
That's
Independence
that
Day,
and
which
one
somehow
and some dude flying up
he's
into a thing and
alive
yelling, "I'm
even though he
back."
died.
That's what I remember.
Independence
I'm
Day, which
back.
literally started the Stardate sequel.
Hello, boys. I'm back.
So look, we make fun. Of the
Yeah, it's
pacing.
made by the same director.
We make
Yeah,
fun
of course
the
we make
pacing
fun of the
this.
pacing. This whole scene has been going on for 10
No.
minutes.
No. But believe me, if you watch it in 4K Blu-ray and you just appreciate your
Independence Day
screen
featuring
little
Brent
bit,
Spiner and Jane
it
Cobb.
is an artistic feast.
Jane was in Independence Day? I don't remember Jane in that either.
Jane
Jane
who?
Cobb from Firefly. I think I watched
Yeah.
Firefly after Independence Day. Independence Day was a long time ago for me.
I
Oh,
love
man.
how intense the scene is that people aren't even paying attention.
Yeah. Look, we're visually watching, and we're talking about Independence Day. But
Look,
I love
I
this
can
scene.
sum up this scene for you. There's a bunch of very spooky architecture. It's very big.
Jane is
No,
one
no,
of
no.
the president's guards.
Beautiful.
I know
scene
Jane
right
is in
here.
Halo
The Enterprise
3.
is like
but a lot of the
hurtling
Firefly
through
people.
the nebula. Oh look,
Hurtling
okay,
is a
Ryan.
strong word.
No, Ryan. In your theatrical cut, it's just like lame TOS thing. But in mine, it's actually like the CGI model is being flipped 360 like a football, spiraling through the
Because
air.
in mine it's just drifting lazily through the
No.
architecture.
Like it's a TOS like it's a TOS episode.
Is this the only time in Star Trek where we actually have an intruder alarm?
Oh, that's so funny. You're funny.
An
So
automatic intruder.
I'm
Along
doing-
with the
I'm
cast
doing,
of Red vs. Blue, Rip Rooster Teeth.
this scene took a lot of time. I didn't realize it was in theatrical cut,
tasking
Ryan.
right
I thought
now.
they re-added it, but I think what they did was they made this scene longer because there were some lines, or it just made us understand a little better. But I thought this was a deleted scene that they put back in for the director's cut. They said this one slowed it down a little bit, slowed down the movie.
Don't tell him what to do, Decker. You're not the captain anymore.
I was not thinking of it, Decker.
I will absolutely not interfere with this giant beam of energy.
Touch it. Touch it. Do it.
You know, in TNG Best of Both Worlds, when the Borg transport over the first time and start tapping into our database, it's very much like that.
Oh, you're saying that they recycle themes and stuff in Star Trek?
I think this movie is so powerful because it contains a seed for like everything else that comes after it. I don't think
Decker, what happened
TOS
to not
defines,
interfering with it?
I don't think TOS defines Star Trek as much as Star Trek the Motion Picture defines Star Trek, because this really sets the aesthetic and the motifs.
Space
for
Seed.
Starfleet.
Spock.
You hear all the piano keys going at once? Why is that the noise of the?
Remember, if someone is trying to hack into your computer, just smash the keyboard. They can't do anything without a keyboard.
Well,
But
you
yeah,
can't
remember,
do anything without a
remember
keyboard.
that lone Borg drone also, like, it wouldn't stop accessing the computer till we like killed it or something.
Which was very rude.
Okay, so they shortened this scene for the director's cut because this thing went on like 10 seconds too long. This did slow up the thing a bit.
Yes, V'ger has also taken an oath of celibacy. It can understand.
Teacher has taken an oath of celibacy.
They did that in TOS, right?
Well, that's like the only thing we know about Ilea, right? So I have to assume that's what V'ger is interested in.
When the people were turned into cubes. Little salt cubes or something. And Ryan asked what geometric shape you would be.
I would be a triangle. Oh, jeez, that alarm actually kind of jumped me a little bit.
Okay, the thing is though, now here Decker starts getting a chip on his shoulder because his girlfriend is gone. He's like, Kirk, you brought
Wait,
us
are
here.
they actually dating?
told us
I
not
thought
to
she
bring-"
was his ex.
Yeah, but yeah, that is his ex because they later talk like you never said goodbye, and later Troy and Riker have the same scene. By the way, I remember having
I
a
wonder what
substitute teacher.
Ilea's mom is like.
A substitute teacher in 6th grade, and she was like, Riker treated Troy like shit. And I'm like, that's so true. Especially like season 1 Riker. Like, don't call her Mzadi anymore if you left without saying bye. That's kind of messed up.
In the future, no one cares if you continue using your pet names.
There's just something between them.
I
get
think,
very
to
weird
be
with that
honest,
sport
Troy
later
is
on in
way
the
worse to
series.
him because she calls him Bill in season 1. It's gross.
Um,
Bill
so
Riker.
another amazing thing, like I know the pace of the film is slow, but another amazing thing that slow pacing does is when you look at the scale of the Enterprise compared to this V'ger thing, it's barely like a speck. So it's doing a really good job of showing like why are we going here through this so slowly?
Who built
Because
this thing?
it's as big as 10 solar systems. or
What's
whatever.
what's the generally accepted headcanon these days? Is it the Borg did this?
Yeah, so this became the Borg.
There's no canon, but what's people's headcanon?
There's Shatnerverse involved too. The
My head canon is that it was
First Contact
just
sort of
a,
explains the border a
artificial.
bit, but it could have originated from here. First Contact and Picard to an extent, but
It was just
it's
some
certainly possible.
artificial civilization that we never get to see on screen.
Maybe they built the Dyson spheres?
I like to think it was the origin of the Borg.
Artificial life forms wouldn't need the Dyson sphere. Not the way that we saw it, because it had like land masses and water, and if they're artificial,
Maybe
they
they
don't
like
need...
role playing as humans.
Maybe they like giant holodecks for
like a big Renaissance festival. Like
what if they're like Soji? She likes water and trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Except
so
Soji was
a giant
created like
water park for androids. Okay.
Soji's race of androids were created to mimic people by people. You know,
Iconians built the Dyson spheres in Star Trek Online.
Yeah. That's in the Preservers too, the Shatnerverse novels. But not to look. This is part of the
no
lore
reason
of this
to
movie.
think a hyper-intelligent AI wouldn't have an appreciation for aesthetics and nature.
Yeah, maybe the AIs are chill.
Maybe they like trees and walks in the park. On Dyson
I think they would be pragmatic enough to we don't need to waste time on that.
Don't make assumptions about the preferences of AI.
So another thing though that's kind of famous about this movie.
That's all we can do. That's the whole.
That
was the question you asked. What was your headcanon?
Hang on. Mr. AI Man, do you appreciate aesthetics, particularly nature aesthetics like trees and water features? Okay,
So
we're gonna figure it out.
The thing that people deadpan this movie for is that it also kind of looks like a vagina that the Enterprise is going
What?
into, and later Spock
What?
goes into
Well, now,
in a
I
sperm
liken it to
state.
Mr. Tom
There's a sexual
Sawyer's
connotation.
appreciation for an untouched white fence, the sight of a hardy oak, the babble of fresh creek. It's a spectacle as mesmerizing as watching riverboat lights dance on the Mississippi after sundown. Beauty, dear friend, is a Starfleet unto itself.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Mark Twain. See, AIs
Beauty
do
is a
appreciate
Starfleet
beauty.
unto itself.
Yeah, beauty's a Starfleet unto
Would
itself.
Mark
Of
Twain
course. Of
appreciate the
course.
aesthetics more if they were blue?
I'm still
Just
proud of
be
that
more-
edit turning Jeffrey Combs
The whole
into
movie is about
other
sex,
Jeffrey
that's why
Combs.
they emphasize the celibacy thing.
What are
Decker
their
wanted
names?
to get with her.
Oh yeah, turning Wayun into
That's Vagina
Shran.
Dentatum, a well-known film thing.
I thought you just made him blue.
No, I comped out Wayun from his scene and comped in Shran.
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch it.
That's our. That's why we watch the show, because he's creative like that.
Would I be more aesthetically pleasing if I were blue?
That was the joke, yes.
There was a guy that was taking colloidal silver until he turned like his entire body turned like a blue gray. I think he finally died a little while ago.
Blue da beadi da beadi.
I have no idea what I called that video. I'm trying to actually find it. I have no idea where it is.
Like many versions of Wayun or something. Many faces of Jeffrey Schran.
Thrusters at station keeping, sir. Ah,
Jeffrey
theatrical
Schran.
or SLV?
Who did Jeffrey
Yeah,
Combs
William
play in this
Combs.
film?
Finally died.
Reader, what did you do? Reader, why did you take our clothes off? The carbon units. Yes. Quite.
Barging on the dead crew member in the shower.
Ah, I found it. Oh, that was when I was experimenting with YouTube Shorts. I did like 2 of them. Vija is Vija.
Combs would play anyone, Alia, Decker, the Enterprise refit, Vija.
I mean,
Yes, Bones.
I'd
The
be down with
atrocities
that.
are as a mechanism.
Lost the blur.
Oh, why is it not blurry anymore? Okay, now it's blurry again. I fixed it.
Tricorder.
Rez. Interesting.
So what you're saying is V'ger can create a mechanical copy of anybody.
V'ger can do anything, man. Except understand carbon-based units. It's a little...
Oh geez, it's circular logic.
Yeah.
Every AI, every single AI in this show. Totally worthless.
VGRFSM.
What? Flying Spaghetti Monster? But wait. Because she's not actually a biological. She's just a robot in the shape of Ilea, right?
We're about to find out. Yeah, a robot.
So why is Bones doing this? This is like, why does Gates McFadden analyze data instead of Geordi?
Why does
Yeah, but one of the things though is that she like the thing energized her, like took her transporter, and then basically called it her engrams. So it still has her brainwaves. So I feel like it's biology also. Like here we see she has eye moisture, which is kind of
they're letting us
Oh,
know
hey,
that
it's
it's
Major.
moist, right?
yeah.
Her eyes, yes.
Yeah.
Don't make it weird.
I think that they.
Maybe sickbay has the best person-sized canner.
I mean,
We've
she's still
seen
wearing
Dr.
her
Jekyll
bathroom.
again.
The
She's not
movie is
Ilea.
making
She's
it
just
weird
a robot
not
in the
him.
shape of Decker. Come on, it just looks like your ex-girlfriend.
Oh boy.
Or is it? Did they ship of Theseus, Ilea?
No, but here's the thing: her exact biology was zapped. So this is like a biological recreation. You know what it's? You know what it really is? You know how in Discovery they bring back what's his name? Booker.
Cole? Oh.
So
Trip with the clone.
no, Discovery.
Culber
Oh,
with the
Discovery?
mycelial realm.
Yeah.
The latest season of Discovery, her boyfriend is zapped by like the giant beings, and then like they lose his transporter signal, and then those magical beings, Cthulhu, bring
When you
him
think of
back.
it, does VG
from the
catfish Decker at the
engrams.
end?
They're kind of omniscient, you know?
Just feeds your catfish Decker, kind of.
Yeah. But here's the thing though. So because it has Ilea's engrams, right? Which is basically like your brain encodings. It's not a word we use today, but when I visited the
It
Church of
downloaded
Scientology.
her brain into a computer, is what happened.
Yeah, the Church of Scientology uses the word engrams. So I'm thinking it was a big thing in the 70s to think of like the brain as this hard drive. With like writings on it. So it has Ilea's engrams. That's why like it calls Kirk unit, but it just calls Decker, Decker, because it has
Decker.
a hot spec still. Yeah. You did a good job doing the whole the sad part of me that still loves you in there. But
Ooh, are they
All
gonna
those
play some
vessels were
hopscotch or
called
something? What's
Enterprise
going-
No NX.
you don't remember the latest
SS
season of Discovery, Robo?
Every season of Discovery kind of is the same to me.
Is this the holodeck?
It's hard
Oh, yeah, it's the holodeck.
in
yeah.
all
The
of the
holodeck
recent
is-
shows to point out specific
recreation deck.
episodes because they're also intertwined.
Yeah.
Mhm. But I gotta say, this is a beautiful room. I'm just so I'm stunned. Like this, but also it costs a lot of money. You should
It's
see it on a giant screen.
very old-fashioned these days.
Yeah. But those panels are TNG hallways. Those big brown things. The
Even
color's a little
like
off.
the cushioned panels on the walls, those are TNG.
Yeah. they and those
They've got a couple
fluorescent
warp
lights, too.
cores in here for lighting. That's good.
Yeah, the side of the warp core. Yeah.
Do we know if that's
Feels like a casino
if
floor
that was
with no
actually
one there.
reused for TNG or if it was just a similar design?
All these sets were recycled for TNG.
TNG didn't happen for another 10 years after this.
Yeah, they definitely kept it on.
They hung on
production.
to
They
some
didn't
of
sell
it.
I don't know,
'cause some
man.
of it
They,
is
they,
very
they don't
clearly
hold
the same.
stuff that long usually.
A movie production company
They
has
kept
it
making movies.
forever.
Oh, that's
They never
true.
throw it away
They did.
till they
They did
auction
do
it.
a movie 4 years later.
Yeah.
Like all the hallways are
see the
very clearly
TNG
exactly
aesthetic.
the same set as TNG.
You see
Wrath
it.
of Khan saved the entire franchise.
Very true. But TNG, for example, the transporter, the top of the transporter of TNG is the bottom of the
The
transporter.
bottom of the
of TOS.
transporter from the original series, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, they keep stuff for as long as they can, actually, because
Yeah,
television.
but
is
these
so
set
expensive.
pieces are pretty large.
They keep everything.
large set pieces.
It costs a lot of money to buy it new, so it's better to keep it.
Oh, here I can see where they comped in the Enterprise, the thick black border.
Yeah, back then,
Goodness,
This is a
blue
beautiful
screen's
set
work
that
had a
Spock's in right now, too.
black line around it, and it's fine when you're in space, but when you're against a colored background, a light colored background, it really stands out.
Yeah.
Spock,
Like
you
all
about to
those.
know what is Spock doing? Is he just stealing stuff?
Yeah, he's stealing away. He's deading off the ship himself. He doesn't want to inform anyone about it.
Yeah, he's gonna get on the.
Well, that's wildly unprofessional, Mr. Spock.
That guy that just got neck pinched,
TV they keep bit to reuse.
It's a very
Films
interesting.
not as much as normally once a film finishes the production, they don't want to keep the ongoing cost of storage for old sets.
Unless they're going to keep making 5 more movies.
Yeah, and also this is the largest movie company or production company. What is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Hollywood company,
Paramount.
basically. Yeah, but it's Paramount, MGM. There's only a handful as big as Paramount. So they have lots and storage facilities as big as anybody in the world.
Well, all right. So the scene in Star Trek 3 where they're in the ocean was actually filmed in a parking lot that was at one point a pool, and it was paved over to be a parking lot for the studio, and then they dug up the parking lot and turned it back into a pool.
That's amazing.
To film the scenes where they crashed into the ocean at the end of the movie.
That's amazing. But I just want to say the set, even that Spock was in when he was never pitching the guy, I just want to say, like, some of these hallways are so beautifully done. It's a great movie if you just look at it from a production point of view. Look at the panels. Look at how like intricately those crown molding stuff is.
I wonder, what did they do when they paved over it? Did they fill it in with something, or did they build like a structure and then pave over it? I don't know. But it's wild that they're able to excavate it and then turn it back into a pool.
So another reason this is a great movie is, because movies tie in what happened before with what's happening now. Spock gave up his Kolinar because he felt this beast, this V'ger entity, speak out to him across the space waves.
You say gave up. What happened is they sent him away because he failed. So Spock went, whatever, I don't want your stupid Kolinar anyway. I'm going to hang out with my friends at Starfleet.
Right.
Very convenient that they have this nice little tutorial program. That's very nice of them.
He feels the V'ger telepathically, like 100 light years away.
No, he stops the thing on purpose. They're about to just give it to him.
We use the word orifice, so pardon me.
Orifice?
This film is very self-aware.
Orifice?
Yes. Amazing shot of the Enterprise rising up.
Space Sphinter.
My
some Cossack stole a thruster suit.
But we're gonna get some amazing exterior shots of the Enterprise again, with Spock and the V'ger in between.
Captain Kirk just swore in my Star Trek. He can't do that. It's illegal.
You also see how harsh those studio lights are. Everyone's sweating.
No, that's because it's such a tense situation. Everyone's really nervous.
The set looks really great, though, even though everyone's sweating. Look at the lights. Oh, my God. We don't see this until Discovery, really, but thrusters and booster packs on an individual spaceman. You see a little bit in First Contact.
They kind of stopped
Spark,
doing this because
you
it
look
kind of
like you
looks
have something to
silly
say.
with 80s effects.
Do you?
Mm.
I certainly do.
You're
I must
you're
go.
right, right.
My
That's why
captain
they
needs
stopped
me.
doing
And then eventually
Money
we
shots
figured out
from
how to do the
outside of the
CG for it.
Enterprise. Like, you know, in a movie, you're just enjoying the movie, but for this to happen every week on a TV show, it will kind of look like
Spock's clearly just sitting in a chair.
yeah, yeah. And also, by the way, it's hard to replicate the 3D, the weightlessness
Ooh,
of
I
space.
do like this planet
Oh,
effect though. That's a nice planet.
I love this movie. It's slow, but it 100% Star Trek. And I love these uniforms.
Yeah, uniforms are pretty cool.
Really, we were lampooning them as gray pajamas, but
If
they're
you
the
like
one
them,
piece.
I'm happy that you're happy.
But you know, the thing is that, like I said, this film is very it's more impactful than even TOS, the original series, because
I love how he
those
throws
great.
away the booster suit as though it wouldn't have some form of reaction control system on it which he could use.
He doesn't need it anymore. He's that good. He doesn't need it. He did a perfect shot.
Because we get the one-piece jumpsuits for TNG, like season 1 TNG. You know, it's very impactful. This is a great scene, by the way. So V'ger traveled all across time. Now it's this personified goddess in Ilea, right?
I do appreciate it. It made a little diorama for the memories.
And by the way, so then it runs into this other giant intelligence, which is like,
Ooh,
little
Spock?
Earth probe. No, the little Earth probe runs into this giant intelligence, which like merges with it, and it's kind of crazy. Then it becomes smarter and smarter and smarter.
Is that actual Ilea, or is that
Fallopian
like a
imagery.
representation of Ilea?
It's like an idealized goddess form of her that Decker has to like merge with.
No, Spock. God, every problem you run into, you try to mind meld with it. Stop it.
But you see the love for between Kirk and Spock because Kirk is coming right after him.
Ooh, went a little Mass Effect beacon on us real quick.
Merge,
see this
winky face.
Although we did have that episode, the shuttle pod one episode, where
I guess don't make
This
it
movie
weird.
is way too much like 2001, a movie I did not like. It also would have been cool to keep them in their original uniforms.
Some
the
theorize it was
uniform's
the
a bit
Borg planet that VGER was helped by.
Decker
be
has
weird
been
that Kirk and
desperately
Spock
trying to
love
merge
each
with her
other.
for some time, so.
Hey, it wasn't me, man.
I know.
But
Spock.
so Spock's telepathy, but he was
Wait,
been
Kirk, what are you
drawn to
doing in
this
a
being.
spacesuit? Why are you out there?
He went out to try and see
But,
Spock.
no,
find Spock.
Kirk, Kirk, you're supposed to be on the bridge. Stop it.
Darn it.
Oh, that's funny. Mine had Kirk and Spock hugging a little bit. That was cut out in yours. You guys don't see that. Like Kirk bringing Spock back personally by getting out there in the spacesuit. That wasn't in your theatrical cut, right, Ryan?
They hugged a little
He was
bit.
out there in the spacesuit, yeah.
Okay. I kind of missed it.
Jim.
Yeah, no, but they also had this shot of like Spock staring straight up because he's so like traumatized by the merger.
Kirk is supposed to be our THR visiting admiral. Know your role.
Even now, yeah, except he took over. But
Well, that wasn't Kirk. That was Shatner.
no, but he commandeered the Enterprise. Oh, look, it's a planet populated by living machines.
What did I do, Bones? You did what you always do, Jim. You gave us a fighting chance.
Sorry, guys. Moon has made me love this movie. I promise you, I will not be this excited about like every other movie after this, but like I can't get over this movie. The fact that it was even made, like we're so lucky.
So, has Spock figured out that it's just the Voyager probe? I think you figured it
It's
out.
literally the greatest
Good.
movie of all time, actually.
This
If you-
B
if
plot
you
of
really wanna
Spark
pick a-
coming to terms with being half human was a good idea too.
It's a peak of cinema.
Re
Every
Mass
other
Effect,
Star
I
Trek
Death
film,
can't
Planet for
reveal
Vigor
it yet.
Origin.
It's not dramatic enough.
every other Star Trek film borrows from this in some way. Like even now, when you guys are saying Jim, you know, in Star Trek 2, when he dies, he's like this. He's doing the same acting. Like, ugh, too good.
Oh
Too
man,
good.
yeah, that probe really messed him up.
This is clearly TNG sickbay, by the way. If you didn't catch that,
Is it?
Yeah, clearly.
This can't
Clearly?
be TNG sickbay. The TNG sickbay, all patients are required to be naked.
Maybe.
And they're under a blue blanket.
It's not the same ship. Like, even though they say it is, it's kind of crazy.
It's not the same ship as TOS?
No way. So right.
Dissipated?
Moon and I had this theory that like even though this isn't supposed to be the NCC 1701, not the A, and they say it's just a refit, we think like it's like the ship of Thespius where they rebuilt it that it can't be the same ship.
Ship of Theseus?
Yeah, I'm not a
Ship of
classics major.
Theseus.
Sorry.
No, I'm just was because thespians are actors.
Well, this is also a ship of thespians.
Yes.
Yeah.
Triggers
So
boom.
this is like TNG sickbay?
I
didn't realize. Yeah, that is Earth, by the way. It looks way better in my.
I can't wait for
director's cut.
SNW to do a refit to make it look like the TOS ship.
There is a gif of the refit being undertaken, where it somewhat works.
You see, the
Wait, hold on a
AI voice
second.
knows how to pronounce it.
Strange
Yes,
New
GIF of the
Worlds. Strange New Worlds will never probably get to the motion picture era.
Probably not.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I mean,
It's probably gonna
once they put
end-
Pike in the chair, Strange New Worlds is over.
You Kirk in
No,
the chair?
they've said that if they get to it, they might actually just go straight into TOS. I think.
And we get Paul.
We just get to have a whole series again, like
Just do it again. Just start over.
just starting over.
Are we gonna use outdated words?
We're gonna
No,
have,
we're
that,
done-
we're gonna
they'll
have
be
the
updated.
Abraham Lincoln episode again.
That would be sick with modern effects.
Are we gonna have floating people inside giant
I would be totally down for another Abraham Lincoln episode.
probes? I think there's a reason. Like you guys once pointed out, TNG didn't have
Remake the whole
alternate
TUS.
universe.
Same stories,
TNG
same scripts.
Maybe change the scripts.
Not the motion
The-
picture
the-
era, the refit
Not
to
the
bring
same.
it into the original
Maybe
series.
take out some of the explicit
The Gorn
sexism.
fight. The Gorn fight redone.
Honestly, I can see this ship being more of a refit of the SNW Enterprise than the TOS one. At least externally.
Yeah.
Well, the S&W Enterprise has swept back nacelle pylons, doesn't it? Like this Enterprise, but the original TOS Enterprise, the pylons
I
were
don't
straight.
get why they take all that out instead of commenting on it.
Take all what out? Yes, the V'ger's home planet is infested
Yes.
with Goblin units.
Women not being able to be captains in TOS era is ripe for commentary.
But it's not canon
Yeah.
anymore. That got retconned.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever been a thing. Like, I never. That really surprised me.
Yes,
actually,
they
to
worked
even learn that.
backwards from TMP for SNW instead of going
That
with
got
the TOS
the whole
version.
women can't be captains thing. That got retconned by Star Trek 2, and then even more by Enterprise.
Which TOS movie do you all think is the worst?
This one.
This
Yeah,
one?
Hold on.
I don't know, man. Final
Hold on.
Frontier?
Ryan. Like, I just learned right
Final
now.
Final
Frontier.
Frontier was the God one, right?
If
Yeah.
FF.
if
I
Stranger
enjoy
Things-
Final
everybody's
Frontier,
agreeing
except
Final
some of the really
Frontier.
weird parts, like the
Or
fan dance. That was
Generations.
weird.
So, I don't think you could say
This
there's
one.
a bad TOS movie, really. But
Generations, look, Generations, you gotta watch it again. Generations has held up really well.
No,
Yeah,
Generations has
And the
gotten
effects
worse.
and
Generations
the,
gotten
and the
worse.
effects are great.
The
The
Duras
effects are
sisters,
fantastic.
the villains, very like. There's nothing good about that movie. It was that they were doing the TV show at the same time they were doing the movie, basically.
No, it was
Final
after. It was
Frontier, I
after.
actually kind of like. I mean, it definitely has problems for sure, but
Kirk
I think
takes
it's
down
alright.
countless galaxy-level threats.
No,
Dies to
Robo,
a bridge.
I learned that
look, live by the
This
bridge,
one
die
is the
by the
worst
bridge.
TOS. But they are
There were
all
two-
good. Like,
there
what's
were
the
2
worst
weeks-
ice cream flavor?
Death. There were 2 weeks overlapping where they were filming Best of All Good Things and Generations.
They were gonna just have Soren shoot Kirk. So there's that.
Like movie lighting requires like more illumination. It was weird. It was a weird thing to transition to.
Bridge on
Like,
the
imagine how-
captain.
By the way, one thing I love, the lights on top right now. Those
After
are like
the
from
season 2
jewelry stores.
SNW finale, a woman captain went into Borg space, which will make the Federation overreact, and their conservative planet members, like Andoria, will ban women captains for 10 years.
They filmed Soren shooting Kirk.
Yeah, but then they redid it because it didn't test well with audiences. That the whole ending of Generations was a reshoot.
That's why it like falls apart.
The ending of Generations
I do
does
like
have a
how
lot of
Sivik isn't a
problems.
true villain,
And
and the stuff with
like,
Spock and Bones
also-
reliving their pain was good. The rest was mediocre.
Fun
Not
fact:
Gorge.
when they went to shoot
Go on.
the end, they forgot his comm badge. They forgot Patrick Stewart's comm badge, and they didn't want to send someone back for it, so
It's out there.
they just filmed it without this comm badge.
Hmm.
That's why he has no comm badge
Yeah.
at the end of Generations.
That's so funny. Dr. Soren was a good bad guy. Let me take that back. You didn't have all bad guys.
Way back when in the 90s there was a fantastically done fan edit of Spock going into the Nexus to save Kirk. As part of a Bring Back Kirk petition.
I don't like
Yeah.
Final Frontier. But I also think 6 is bad and riddled with plot holes.
Like, I really like
Okay.
6.
6 is the best one.
I guess I
mean-
especially like the investigation bit at the beginning. The Rura Benthe
Us-
stuff I don't care so much.
Aside from the visual feast
6
of
was
Star Trek, the
brilliant.
motion picture. Guys, but here, I just learned though, Star Trek motion picture, they worked backwards to make Strange New Worlds. So this film is so inspirational. It creates the entire ethos for the entire genre, for the billion-dollar enterprise or saga, which is Star Trek.
And that's why Kirk
This-
Body is floating around that space station now in the 25th century.
Oh yeah, they can bring back Kirk.
They really can. That's why I'm saying Kirk is also the most like.
But when they regenerate his body to resurrect him, he will suddenly turn into Paul Wesley.
No,
we
but Kirk
can't have
saves
like
Earth.
97-year-old Bill Shatner doing stuff.
Kirk
It's not-
saves Earth in Star Trek 1. And then he goes ahead and saves us from genetically modified people from 300 years ago in Star Trek 2. He just saves Earth every single time.
Well, Starfleet captains do that. That's what they do. It's the whole job. Every
But if he
single week,
wasn't
there's
there-
something threatening to destroy the Earth.
You mean regenerate into Jeffrey Combs?
That would also be acceptable.
I'll give you Picard and Cisco. They come close and all that, but I think Kirk had a certain. Kirk is the ethos, unfortunately. But you know what's weird? Shatner feels like they're writing him out of Star Trek. I don't know why he feels that way. Because he'll always be the original
Well,
guy.
Do you mean like
That's
now?
not necessarily actually Shatner, in fairness to him.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
He
this
hasn't managed
guy
to
on
switch it,
screen isn't
apparently.
Shatner.
Star Trek Discovery Season 1 saves the entire multiverse.
Wait a second. This is just the
Do
same.
we agree Wrath of
This is the
Khan
same
is the
effect they use
best?
for God.
Wrath of Khan is certainly up there. I'm a little partial to First Contact.
Yeah.
Wrath of Khan was okay.
Wrath of Khan has the best action and villain, of course.
I say it's a really close race between Wrath of Khan and First Contact for me.
Yeah.
Nah, for me,
And,
the Voyage Home is the
Insurrection
best
down
by
there
far.
at the bottom.
Okay, but I'll say,
If
okay,
he didn't
director
save
though.
the Earth every time, he wouldn't be the captain. If a story is worth telling, that it has characters in it which seem to be larger than life, or they wouldn't be stories worth telling.
I don't know if I
Very
agree
true.
with that.
Gotta be Star
at
Trek
all.
4, the one with the
No,
whales.
the whale movie's the best Star Trek movie. Not even close.
Well, double dumbass to you.
So, I think
Why is that your favorite? I just want you to.
it's a
give me
it's
brief-
comedy gold. You don't realize that?
It has really good comedy.
I'm
and
asking
they-
Ryan.
Yes, it has very good comedy, and there you go. I'm done.
There you go. That's it.
One
That's
damn
it.
minute, Admiral.
I just
What
think it's a
more,
really
like-
funny movie.
We love those characters, and they make
The
us laugh.
SeaWorld episode.
There'll be whales here.
The SeaWorld
Double
episode.
dumbass on you.
And you get a
The
good
best
moral
Star Trek
episode
movie
too, right?
is the one
Like-
without a Federation ship.
Yeah.
Like let's
Yeah.
not. The moral lesson is let's not hunt all these beautiful creatures to extinction.
The doctor gave me a pill and I grew a new kidney.
That is the funniest line in any.
Oh
Star
no
Trek
no
movie.
no!
That is the
Nuclear
funniest
vessels.
Yeah.
Nuclear vessels.
Nuclear whistles.
The doctor's
First
flipping through
Contact
their
is my
charts.
favorite to try
like,
and
what?
indoctrinate people into the Star Trek films, as it's such a great sci-fi action film independent of the Star Trek side.
First Contact's really good. It's a good movie.
Yeah. It's a good movie to start
I like
because
the bit where he's quoting Moby Dick, even though Moby Dick actually kind of sucks
Across
as a
the
book. It's
bay.
a really good scene. 10 out of 10.
No.
I'm from
but,
Iowa.
No.
I'm
I like the
from
part
Iowa.
directly
Iowa.
after that where he's
Iowa.
actually quoting the book. The smashing the case thing, I don't actually care.
Zephram Cochrane provided good
His
comedy too. So.
Chest were a cannon. He would have shot his heart.
Are you sure it isn't time for a colourful metaphor?
If you
First
were any
Contact
other
makes
man,
Picard weird.
I would
I
kill you
would
where you stand.
kill you
Except,
where you
Another
as we learn in
uniform.
DS9, Cisco intimidates
It would have
Worf.
been awesome
so no,
if they linked the whale probe
if
to
that
the
were
aquatic
Cisco,
aliens from Shindy.
Worf wouldn't have done nothing.
I would kill you where you stand.
No, he wouldn't. Worf's a big softy.
In my culture, I'd be well within my rights to kill you where you stand.
And by the way, I think everybody thought "assimilate this" was the best line ever too. When you walked out, of that
Worf
movie.
sucks.
Assimilate this.
Worf is quite susceptible to blue barrels, isn't he?
No, but I would say we Trekkies, we get so like pleased over our characters.
Terrible
doing-
dad. The more I think about it, the
Terrible
more
dad.
I dislike Worf.
Terrible dad.
But you know,
He
like
is the worst dad.
well, something really cool though. You know, like we got to see our hero. Well, our heroes are doing this now without the magnetic boots. But basically, right, they've stepped off the hull of the
Do you
ship
boys like Italian?
onto the V'ger.
Yes, no, yes, no, yes. I love Italian, and you do too, do I? Yes, yes.
So here's the thing: they were trying to
They have found
transmit
the
the
V'ger.
thing.
Also,
They're
wait,
trying to-
is this the deflector dish where Worf says assimilate this? Is this the same thing? This
Oh,
looks like the deflector
yeah.
dish.
It really is.
No, this is a different set.
That's the same thing. Look, it even
It's the same
those
shape of
panels that
set.
divide it.
Yeah.
Look, the panels that divide it, it goes up. the
Yes,
whole thing.
round.
Fantastic
It's
set.
It is a
round
common-
set.
V
It
to
is a
points.
common design philosophy that they are using.
No, even where
shared
the
design
Lucaris panels
philosophy.
are. No
Yeah,
way.
it's a bowl. It's a bowl.
No way. No, it is the same thing. The angle where you jump to. Gee whiz.
Worf is totally willing to forget all about Jadzia during the First Contact movie.
Who?
Jadzia Dax,
Who?
his wife. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Voyager.
Sorry.
Wow, what a reveal.
Okay, so in
She was
my
in Stevie Core. It's fine.
director's cut, they're still stepping on the giant maze.
Another thing about Worf. So Worf in Star Trek Picard season 3, he's not actually that old because Klingons live like forever.
I find it funny that the
But he's
punk guy
all
from Star
like
Trek 4
ancient
is
and
still
gray
riding on
by
buses
appearance.
listening
I think
to
that's
more
just
or
because
less
he
the same
grayed
song.
early.
When
because
Seven
hanging out
shouts at
with
him, he
Starfleet
feels
is
his neck
incredibly
remembering
stressful.
Spock.
First contact. He had already been with Ezri before
I'm sorry,
that.
Ryan.
This part
I
never
couldn't
made sense to me because
hear
VGR wants to
because the
transmit all
comments
information
are
through its own tiny little
speaking over
dish.
you. I
Worf,
can't
the
hear it.
reason Worf is gray, he's gone all
Uh-huh.
gray in Star Trek Picard season 3. He's prematurely gray because he's actually pretty young by Klingon standards. The reason he's so gray is because he's been hanging out with Starfleet and it's super stressful. Absolute nightmare to work for.
Oh, so in mine, the idea is right. They have to transmit the code to the satellite because everything was like a 4-digit code back then. But the machine won't take the code.
Boots and
It'll
cats
only
and
merge with
boots
Decker.
and cats and boots and cats.
Ooh,
Those bedroom
the
eyes
physics there. Ooh. It's what used to be called a black hole. So they're saying that the black holes are wormholes.
Yeah.
But that was never once a theory at all in terms of
No.
a black hole being a wormhole to another point in our own universe.
At least
We
they
didn't
are
know what
using the
happened on
term
the other
black hole
side.
in TOS the show. They try to refer to a black hole and they say like, oh, what used to be called like a black star or
Plus
something.
whatever Worf did to the Enterprise E. He'll never live it down.
Enterprise.
It is a crazy idea. It took us a while to figure out that black holes were once stars.
Well, they are stars.
Collapsed in on themselves from gravity, which is a crazy thing to think about.
Prune
Like,
juice
they-
grays your hair. Have
they
you ever seen
converted
someone who drinks prune juice who doesn't have grey
all their
hair?
hydrogen to
No,
to
of
an
course
element
not,
that's just
because
one
it makes
proton
your hair
more.
grey.
And then that made them so heavy that they collapsed in on themselves just because it's of that extra proton that they kept packing in for 5 billion, 10 billion years. Fusion. Then you collapse in on yourself and create this thing that even light cannot escape. I don't know, kind of blows your mind.
I'm surprised that the Enterprise would have that information in its banks. I guess
Yeah. Like
they have like
the old
infinite
manual-
storage, so they just include everything from all human history.
Do they have the manual to my A320 motherboard?
Probably.
That's what it seems like here, because why would you have that? And mine is way more advanced as this feature thing.
So
They have all of
Millions of
Wikipedia.
tapes.
But they have the information because it was a significant event. So
Mhm,
they
mhm.
definitely have that information on the NASA files from it.
That's true. Because
I think it's interesting though.
you know,
This
like-
is Voyager 6. They didn't use the real Voyager
Yeah.
probe.
They
They
probably
made up
do
a
have a
Voyager
complete
probe.
record of everything from back then because there was so much less to store.
There's no Voyager 6.
Yeah. But I really like, so we sent out a plaque which has like a man and a woman, and then we sent out like a location of our solar system to show, which is a stupid idea when I was-
suicide. You fools.
right?
Yeah, it's a horrible
Right.
idea.
But then we sent out this golden record which contains Earth's music, so it has indigenous people.
And it has whale songs. That's the whole point of this movie, or the the movie coming
About-
up, the fourth movie.
About sending
Do
a
they have
probe
battle
being with
toads?
our location being suicide,
about
at
the
the speed
non-special
Voyager is
edition
going,
Star
anybody who
Wars?
finds it, they're already here.
Yeah, they're already
Yeah.
getting it to us. They can figure it out.
Or,
But,
or if
Sending
it's going
Newt
any
and our
significant
address to the
difference away, our
galaxy.
technology was significantly progressed from the point where we sent it. Hopefully.
yeah.
How long does it
Um,
take
It's
Voyager to
literally
reach the next
thousands
star?
of years away from the nearest solar system.
Is
4
it
years.
hundreds of thousands of years away from the next star?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. 100,000 years, just 100,000.
Space is big, yo.
not
Or
hundreds.
Soma, by the time they get here, there's just gonna be a smoldering crater where we used to be.
Yeah, so it'll be like a
It, will
signifier
have,
where we
it
used
won't
to
be smoldering anymore. It'll have gone out long ago.
Or will have
I
new
don't know,
cockroaches
man.
will come out. You know, maybe dinosaurs will evolve again. You know, and this time they could even become intelligent beings, and we
This
won't need
time the dolphins will rule the world.
Dinosaurs could never evolve again.
Well, if we destroy the Earth through global warming, we could have
But
a
we'll
nice
still
Cretaceous
have the
age.
Statue of Liberty.
No,
We don't.
the
We would need a lot
dinosaurs
higher
existed
oxygen
when.
content to support
Yes, thank you.
larger creatures.
Oh, really?
That's what I was getting at. Yeah,
So
the
long and thanks for all
atmosphere
the fish.
when the dinosaurs were around was a lot more oxygen than it is now, and that's why we could have super large creatures. Insects, like the size of insects, is governed primarily by the oxygen concentration. That's why the prehistoric insects were humongous.
Because insects, at least some of them breathe through their skin. Well, not skin. You know what I mean. They take in oxygen content sort of
Through the
passively,
exoskeleton.
And they have
and
pores.
so as they get bigger, the amount of oxygen they can draw in increases as the square of their size, but their volume increases as the cube. So you need a lot higher oxygen percentage.
Voyager 1
to
will
support
pass
larger
within
and larger
1.6
creatures.
light years of another star in about 40,000 years.
Okay. Yeah, 40,000 years. Okay, that's not bad. I thought it was 100,000 years.
But within
I was
within 1.6 light years of another star, that's still
If we
really,
wiped
really
out all
far.
life, the first things to
Oh,
grow
okay.
back from the rubble will be plants, so the
Okay.
oxygen content could be high again.
I want like to be discovered by like a planet, but okay, no, that's not happening. But the other thing is that we have a
maybe.
phonograph. We have a phonograph record. I'm proud to say it has a.
They figured it. They know how to stop V'ger with the power of friendship and love.
Yes. It has Indian music, but one thing I noted, out of 16 records, 8 of them are for Germany, because I think it's like 4 Beethoven and 4 Bach, and or Strauss, or someone.
No, Deckard.
So, Ryan, imagine if we had a chamber where we put a bunch of bugs in it and we increase the oxygen concentration inside the chamber to see how big they would grow.
I
Put a
don't.
bunch of larvae.
Well, no, the
bugs.
species needs to evolve to be able to grow that big, and ants aren't going to get the size of like a koala just by increasing the oxygen content. They have to evolve that way.
You know, but the 70s was such a hippie era where, you know, when you send up a phonograph of Earth's music, including like tribal people from the Amazon and Bach and Beethoven, and Remember Us, or Think of
I
Us
feel
When
like
You Play
Decker's
This
gone a little crazy here.
Saxophone starts playing.
That's
Maybe
a
we
bit
can-
obsessed.
Look, you
Same
guys
flow
have
as
never
Shark
been in
Tank
love,
stuff.
okay?
Maybe we can edit them with CRISPR, Ryan.
You don't even know what love is.
You know what? It's true. I don't understand love because I would not be willing to digitize
Urge to merge.
my body and
Also,
what
you don't know what it means to be a scientist, because this is what it means to
He
join.
finally gets to
Starfleet.
merge.
That's why he joined Starfleet. So he could transcend.
isn't he just dying right now? They're copying his neural patterns.
He's
Is this why Kirk
merging
gets
with
demoted?
the creator. The MIA. No, he's demoted for stealing the Enterprise.
Said it earlier, but I'm saying it again. Mr. Decker, more like Mr. Down Bad. He can see the space koala.
Yeah, that's what happened. Totally. But here's the thing. Love is, and the desire to know So I was wrong before. I think on the Discord server, I think I said
Look,
that
don't try
Isaac
to
Asimov.
merge your consciousness with your ex-girlfriend. It's not healthy. You need some degree of separation
You,
there.
you need to get over the person and not work with them and request a transfer.
You know
if
what? I'm going to go so
you
far as to
wind
say
up-
don't try to merge your consciousness with a current girlfriend.
Yeah.
Kurt just
probably,
walking back
like-
a couple times.
You need to keep healthy boundaries in a
This
relationship.
is a few
like,
steps
you need,
Love
beyond
is merging with an
codependence.
Android version of your ex.
you need stuff that you do. You need stuff that they do by themselves, and then you need stuff you do together.
Or you can
So-
merge your units into a carbon form.
Don't do that. By the way, my movie's still going. We're still trying to put
Yeah.
circuits and stuff like that.
We're
That's-
nearing the end.
That's the Praxis exploding effect, by the way,
That's a little different.
at the beginning of Star Trek 6. No, it's the same effect, I believe. And I believe this is the outro in Star Trek
That's a
6.
film in the future. The Divorce.
Oh, wow. So my film is a little bit longer because we get a little bit more of Ilea and Decker staring at each other, making googly eyes.
The Decker unit never cleans up after himself.
He never closes the toilet seat.
So
She's
where's
wearing
V'ger?
heels.
Does V'ger just leave? Where does it go? Is it just gonna go keep exploring?
Yeah, it decides to leave us alone. No, because here's the thing: the programming was report back to the creator with all your knowledge, and so it thinks Decker is the creator. You know, Earthman over here.
I
And
think
now the-
V'ger is the CMA
What's
from
CMA?
Discovery.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
That was a CMA, right?
The
did
Decker
that
unit
stand for?
flirts with other constructs.
But that's kind of the thing,
Interrogative
like,
from
you know,
Starfleet.
look, I think here's the thing, right? The film is great sci-fi because we have to approach the unknown. It doesn't think like us. We can't come with our assumptions because we'll be wrong.
No, Kirk, Ilea's definitely a casualty. She didn't consent to being digitized. Decker did because he went crazy at the end. Ilea was not
Yeah,
into
yeah.
this. She just got
They're not-
murdered.
Yeah, she did. She got daxed. Also very cool, right? Like, imagine you had a probe and it came back, and you know,
And it murders your ex-girlfriend so that you get, and then makes an android of her so you get to date her again.
So then you make it a human story with a romance. But yes, so it's human and it's abstract and high stakes because all our
Right.
heroes are gathered together.
That'll
It
no,
makes
Kirk. We need a more specific
a
heading.
moist android.
What about the subspace telescope and the Klingon vessels?
First out of the way,
And
straight
clearly
until
all
morning.
of those planets is absorbed on the
Don't-
way from probably the Delta Quadrant.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about those.
One final movie where Decker and Alia come back.
The Klingons could not understand love, and so they were not able to merge with the V'ger.
Can someone really quickly calculate how far our Voyager 1 or Voyager 2, would be in 300 years?
Still in the Oort cloud.
But the Voyager's left the solar system, but it wouldn't be very far away from the solar
Really
system.
far.
Okay,
Um,
Voyager 1 is currently 163 AU away.
Okay, Douglas Trumbull, his name is first because he did all the special effects last minute. He almost died doing them.
Yeah, the effects were good, but you can tell they're quite rushed.
Well, yeah, this is a theatrical release. They were much better in the subsequent versions.
Yeah.
Hey,
Great
Mark
for
Twain,
technology
how far
information,
away
that's,
will the Voyager 1 probe be away from Earth in
Asimov.
300 years?
I forgot about that. Asimov
Yes,
consulted
so-
as science consultant.
Here's
Fascinating.
why they needed a consultant, because this was I thought Asimov wrote the script or not, but what it was this whole Ilea thing of merging. They were like, "Is it a good idea?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's a great idea. It's Star Trek." And it's like, let's ask someone like Isaac Asimov, and if he says it's plausible science fiction, we can do it. But they thought the plot was a little weird, where like the man and the machine were like gonna mate. which it is weird.
I mean, if you're going to ask anyone about that kind of plotline, Asimov is the person to ask.
Yeah, of course, and especially at that time, right? Because he was still at his peak.
Yeah.
Farther
Okay,
than the
so I
Mississippi
did the
It's
math.
literally written-
Hang on. I
Sorry
did the
about
math for Voyager 1. In 300 years, Voyager 1 will be about 1200 AU away from Earth. For reference, 1 light year is 63,000 AU.
Yeah.
Voyager's not going anywhere very quick.
Okay.
Also, I cut off Mark Twain. I canceled him because he just started talking about nonsense. He couldn't answer it.
Okay, thanks. My film is still doing an outro, and even though it's shorter, right? Supposedly by 4 minutes. I think maybe your credits are longer, Ryan, and maybe the movie was shorter. But Kirk sits in the chair and does, like how Star Trek 6 has the outro, like first star to the right and straight on till dawn, which is from Peter Pan.
Mark
getting,
Twain is cancelled.
Yeah, Mark Twain's gone. He's gone. Until next week when we watch Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, which is okay. It's better
Which
than
is
this.
it's a
The same
fantastic
issue
film.
comes up when the Klingons destroy the probe, which screams
We'll
in Final
discuss
Frontier.
the continuity errors next week.
Are we allowed to yell Khan at the famous line?
Yes.
Should I practice my throat?
Yes, you can yell Khan. You get one.
Gone.
No,
See,
don't
that's
use
your
up your
next
one
week.
before the time.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you,
What?
Mark Twain. Thank you, Ryan.
Everybody gets one Khan yell, so make sure to save it for the appropriate moment.
Have to yell it.
That wasn't a yell. That was
Not just
a,
aloud.
Gracias.
Alright, so yeah.
Voyager
start
1 will just
Wrath
have
of Khan
reached the
next
Oort
week.
cloud in 300 years.
By the way,
Having watched this
bring-
movie again, I don't believe my
Khan.
opinion on it has changed.
Khan.
You need to watch the
Khan.
director edition. But
Khan.
bring Kleenex tissues because you're all gonna cry. I'm just warning you now.
Can we cry over Spock's death when we know he gets better the next movie?
It's
totally
such an
fine.
emotional ending. Oh my god! Don't even have a good day.
People die all the time in Star Trek and keep going back to life. It's fine. Honestly, I really wish sci-fi in particular would just let people stay dead. People keep being
But sci-fi,
resurrected.
there's so many
across all
ways to
dimensions.
revive people.
But stop it.
I'm glad
kill
you
them.
clarified.
Okay, that's next week. We're done here. This stream is over. Go away.